welcome back to our second session of the Heart of Mora campaign, everyone.
Yay.
Where we left off last game, you guys met in the city of Elysia, in the nation of Avondale, boarding the ship, the Breath of Arga, forcing yourself to find roommates with one another, some more comfortable than others. Kushagra getting a little bit seasick, and meeting some of the crew, you guys began to make your voyage to the Lonesome Island, where you were to take supply and get stocked up before your long trip across into the Heart of Mora. Upon route, the fleet of ships that you were with came under siege, and a battle ensued far and away. Captain of the ship, Zovra Holloway, steered you guys away from it, keeping you safe, and in the morning, realizing that a small frigate amongst the fleet, had taken some damage, slowing the pace of the entire fleet, taking a day or so extra. You guys arrived in the late evening in the cove of the Lonesome Island, in a place known as Cask Cove. It's a very large bay, about 20 miles across. It's so large. Big mountainous terrain surrounding this entire cove. You see a number of ships, mostly trade ships, things like that, anchored in this cove, kind of scattered around, most of them keeping a fair distance from one another, as the rest of the ships in your fleet eventually come to the nearby area and dock themselves for the evening. After Zovra kind of explains to the crew and you as well that you will be docking for the evening and then allowing people to begin transporting potentially to shore if they'd like to visit, as it'll take a couple of days to repair one of the ships before you're able to take off again, but they also have to resupply as well, so not allowing anyone to go until morning though. As for this is a neutral area and there is no alliances on either or. It is considered a peaceful area though, and is strictly prohibited to do battle and war within Cask Cove, so it is kind of a neutral zone. That being said though, it still can be dangerous. But as we come back, so you guys are currently top level. Most of you, I would imagine, begin to make your way down back into your rooms for the night. But if there's anything you'd like to do with the evening before the morning, please let me know.
Would we know, just like, people who live, I'm pretty close to Rodel. Would we know, like, roughly if there are inhabitants on the Lonesome Island? Or, are there rumors of, because if it's truly a neutral zone, how does it stay maintained as a neutral zone?
Right. So roll me a history check. Kushagra.
Here it is.
There we go. Well, try not to.
First roll of the day?
Oh, sub 5 again.
Wow.
That is a 4.
Plus that.
You have not any knowledge, unfortunately, at the moment at least, other than the name and that you're there.
Perhaps I will inquire from the other crew later on.
Yes, most of the crew are busying themselves still, getting the ship
This is
anchored
morning
and such.
or
It is still evening right now. You see Zovra, who's exhausted, quickly retires to her quarters. Skip, kind of also pretty tired, making changeover with Jason, who's going to take the helm, but not, he's manning the ship overnight mostly. He works the night shift for the most part.
Quartermaster
Jason
during the
does.
day.
Quartermaster Jason, yeah.
Yeah, evening. I guess we've all supped already.
Assumedly, yes. All good. But if there is anything else you'd like to do with the night until the morning, let me know, and then otherwise...
I'd break my habit of staying up deck, talking to Callie and kind of looking at Cruel, just to kind of get ready for the.
Okay, taking a good night's rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume that she's probably going to be fairly busy,
Most likely.
and I would just want to push Cruel off the ship.
Cruel.
So I go downstairs to the room, hoping that I'm there before Ooze, so I can get in there before getting cramped.
No. Beast is already in there.
His gator tail like swinging down, blocking the door as you kind of push it. You have to force it in a little bit.
I'm
Good.
like trying to get through the.
Yeah. Squeeze your gap. Your horn kind of gets stuck on the edge for a second before you kind of twist it.
I can't wait until I can sleep in a bed without you here, Usk. Growl at me.
I'm perched in my cat bed in the corner, in the hammock. Just like eyes peering over at Usk. Watching.
Not nearly as nimble as you.
Yeah. Just like silently watching. I'm surprised to see you. You're not visiting your friend this evening.
I assume that she's busy, and plus I want to get a good night's sleep.
Yes, this Lonesome Island. I don't know anything about it.
Would I?
Fades me.
I don't know if I don't know. I probably wouldn't have been here. I don't think there would have been a reason for the caravan to come to this random island.
I mean, you can, if you want to see if you know anything about it,
Sure.
roll me a history check.
+2. That is a 22 or 21.
Okay. So as
Yeah.
Kushagra's like, I know
What?
nothing, you're like, well. You have probably not been here, and maybe you've stopped off like in crossing, but it's kind of out of the way for most places that you would have been, as opposed to like going around the shores. This is kind of out in the middle a little bit. But what you've heard, or what you can recollect at bare minimum, is that there is a small port town here in Cask Cove that's just referred to as Cask Cove. It is home to pirates, outlaws, and no one. It is an uncontrolled land which fields little natural resources to support life, and thus is not really worth inhabiting by most folks, which has allowed it to maintain this neutrality, where it basically acts as a little trading hub or a stopover place or a place to hide, for example, for people who wish to not be found. So ships and supplies of neutral merchants trade and sell goods through this area, where there's kind of a soft agreement to avoid conflicts within the cove itself. That agreement is kept held by unknown means to you, but at any given time there's at least several ships always docked here in the bay. But most of the people that do live here are mysterious or scoundrels, or it's a place of.
So I feel like the three of us will fit right in perfectly.
Excellent.
Yes.
And
Upstanding folk.
there is one point of business I'd like to attend to. An acquaintance of mine I'd like to visit. I've heard rumors she is residing on this Lonesome Island. Perhaps I could convince either of you to accompany me in the morning for this little vacation off the ship. Must need supplies.
I need
there
a
we are, my
I
friend.
need a tavern. So yeah.
Excellent. We'll make haste in the morning.
As soon as we're allowed off this ship.
So as Timil, Lucian, you guys quietly go to rest. You kind of curl up in your little hammock. Lucian, eventually you fall into your state of meditation. You hear the loud kind of like breath of Farmer kind of heavily exhaling. Seems stressed, but he hasn't not been stressed since you guys boarded this ship. So, as he eventually passes into sleep as well. And you guys sleep through the night. Whilst you guys are sleeping, though, roll me a perception check from everyone.
Let's try one more chance. That's more like perception, you said? Sweet 8. 22.
Okay.
Oh.
Plus your 5.
21.
Okay, so Usk, Tim, and Kushagra. As you're sleeping away, and eventually you find yourself being woken up slightly by the sound of people talking, the voice you recognize immediately as Zovra. This is several hours after you've fallen asleep, and dead of night. It's quiet, other than the kind of muffled voices from beyond the doors. As you can hear down the hallway, Zovra beginning to talk. Well, if you feel that it is important for you to help us in recovering these ships quicker, I'm more than happy to ship you aboard to the other vessels if you are willing to lend aid. Will one be enough security for? And you hear a voice kind of, oh, it'll be more than enough, absolutely. She's a strong girl. Take care of things, no problem. Romonius and myself can handle the repairs. We have our ways. And say because of it, you see a subtle kind of glow come from underneath the wood for just a moment that kind of shines under the door before it recedes again, and you hear Zovra kind of, yes, not necessarily my favorite sort of thing to deal with, but if it's something we can take advantage of and get out of this port as quickly as possible, I'm more than happy to have you shipped across. Will the morning suffice? Yes, that will be just fine. I'll make sure it'll be first thing before anyone else. Very good. Please, and have a good rest for the evening. You hear her eventually make her way back upstairs. After of which, the rest of the night continues on. You can hear the crew members, going about the ship and what have you, but for the most part, uneventful otherwise. Until the morning. Yes? Oh, I thought you said so. So, in the morning. It was just a chip crunch. It sounded like so. It's amazing. It's so quiet you can hear a chip crunch. So the morning does eventually come, and you naturally awake to the morning. The sound of as something hitting the water outside of the boat, followed by kind of people yelling, loud voices. Things are happening aboard. You can hear feet shuffling from all sides atop you, and it's almost like you're waking up late, but it's still morning, and there's just a lot of things to be done. So the crew is at work.
Do we? Come on. Had a moment there, but no, we're good. Never mind, I don't do it.
So, yeah, you come out of your trance.
Yes.
You wake up, and you see Farmer is leaning over the side of the bed and looking very sick. You see him kind of pull the bucket over and begin to vomit quite heavily. Sweat pouring off of him.
To believe our friend here is quite as well.
He kind of puts up a hand and and just continues to vomit.
Would you like me to fetch the medic?
Shakes his head.
Tim's gonna go get the medic.
Okay.
Just leaves.
Takes out. So you go find Cassian.
Cassian?
I believe you've met, potentially.
Kushagra.
Kushagra. When he was sick.
She's actually in the kitchen most of the time otherwise, so
Favorite place to be.
she's in the kitchen. You would have probably passed by her in the kitchen at some point for sure. She's in there quite a bit. Just hanging out with Paulus and being useful. Yes?
You to come with me.
Is there a problem?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Follows along.
Yeah.
And take you to the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before they get in, though, I will cast disguise self on myself. Again, to not be a purple
Oh, yeah, she's
humanoid. Yes.
Okay. You hear the
Yeah, the little bit of pattern.
quickly take your illusion. After the door swings open. Oh. please. Probably better you don't get up right now, but let me fetch you something. And perhaps we should empty this first. And she goes to open the window for a quick second. And before she reefs it open, and just
Tim kind of is out of the window, like out the door on the other side.
she's it smell is awful in here, and really kicks the window open and dumps it out.
I'm not even in the room at this point.
Just leave it to me. There'll be no going ashore for you, just in case that was on your mind. And kind of pats the head a little bit. Your friend here will likely need most of the day with me. Don't worry, he's in good hands.
Right.
I
Tim-
must go fetch something.
Tim,
Jeep takes off and
we
goes to fetch some medicine.
explore this lovely island while we wait. It's for our friend farmer to recover.
Yeah.
Do you believe it may be wise to leave misfits on board?
No.
They have no loyalty to anyone else. Be loyal to us.
I'm good.
Right? Off to make friends.
Sounds good.
So,
But do you like walk away at that point?
Yeah, I walk away.
If you kind of feel feel like a small child's hand like tugging on your on your cloak
Yeah.
as she's kind of it walks behind you, just tugging on like the very end of your cloak. Yeah.
a small thread.
Yeah, exactly.
Frayed thread.
Sometimes we get how small gnomes actually are.
Like,
Yeah, how tall are you?
could walk under
like
the table.
6'3".
I'm like smaller than half of you.
Yeah.
Like I
You are well to my knee, if that
Yeah.
counts. Well up to the knee.
So we had problems getting Goose in. Should we try getting him out now?
Can you go
Well, I know how to get in.
Port?
He's like fold his tail.
Yeah.
And like
You start pushing him from
It
the
still
first.
takes me a minute, but I can get out.
It's labor intensive, but yes, you've been able to exit several times.
Just get out the hatch.
Yeah,
You don't need
it's like the smallest bit of his nose gets through. You can like taste the sea air outside for a moment. So you guys going up board top deck, I suppose, as well. So yeah, it is a fair frenzy of things. You see the crew kind of like shuffling around and everything, and I believe I would say it's probably Skippy's round here, and Zarbra's probably trying to take some rest. Actually, she's kind of a hard.
How day is it right now? Like, is
It's-
it daybreak or just like
Barely morning.
Barely
like,
morning?
It's still that like kind of
twilight's like
yeah, a
yeah,
little
gray.
bit. It's still very early,
Like
but
dawn.
it's
Yeah.
become morning. So
sun's not up yet?
it's
Or
up.
like
It's
sun's
just,
not like blazing yet.
yeah, it's
Sun's up, right?
rising for sure.
Nice.
The light of the day has come, but the sun hasn't yet started to warm the
Yeah.
day, and it is summer too, so it's the warm season, I suppose. So it's very warm. Or it's
Would
going
you
to get
believe that I hate the heat?
Eventually, Skippy kind of comes around as you guys are all milling around the top of the ship. Kushagra, I mean, we're here at the Lonesome Island. Are you interested in going to talk to that lady at all? I can make arrangements to get you ashore.
That would be excellent.
There's a few boats that have to come back and forth, sir. It'd probably be about maybe a half hour or so if you want to have some breakfast and get sorted out before they ready
I'll
to
meet
go.
you back here in an hour.
There's a bit of business to attend to this morning, you know. A few things kind of come up.
1 hour.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Go see Paulus in the kitchen. He's making up some breakfast right now.
Go do that. Hope there's fish.
I'm not quite sure if I have the time to eat yet. He puts a little more powder in his mouth.
You have a problem.
Done?
He's running on fumes right now. He's
Yeah, I'll go grab some grub.
Okay.
Wait for the
Fins.
ferry.
okay. So, as you guys are waiting around, and presumably most of the time spent top deck, you see the two elves that had been previously mentioned come up the staircase. Now the light of the day a lot easier to see as well.
I'm gonna. Do I notice them? Yes, I everybody notices. I'm gonna try and take a knee and like try and go face to face with Tendril, just sort of focus in, try and make it look. Adding my stature.
Hello.
Just play cool. Just play cool. Do they see me though? They don't see me.
No, it's
Okay. So as they come up, you see in a little more clarity. Again, both of them look very similar. The male of the two has long white hair, tied back into a ponytail with sort of two strands that come down on the sides, both beside his cheeks, gently braided. His brow is quite low and pursed together, a very stern look on his face, seemingly most of the time. But his features are still kind and soft, otherwise very elvish. His skin is pale, his eyes are this silver blue as he kind of scans across the ship, wearing this beige cloak that's covered over this brown studded leather. Covers much of it, and some of it's sort of stained to this earthly green color, where you see little tags and cloths of gold wrapped around his arms and wrists. He kind of pushes his cloak aside, and you see a little bit of sparkle from several silver daggers, as well as a couple of swords at his waist as well. The other kind of coming up behind him, you see the smaller but still quite tall elven female who again has very long white hair and pale skin, as well as very soft features and massive almond-sized eyes that are both also silver and blue, same as his. First thing that you notice immediately, and her sort of similar garb of colors of beige and yellows and greens and golden cloths. She's now first time you've not seen her with this before, but she holding up this very nice looking staff with this kind of bronze pendant at the very top of it, shaped into a sun within a circle. As they kind of scan over, and you see Skip, who's still running around. He goes, yes, right. One moment, I'll make sure the captain's okay to see you there. And he goes and knocks on the captain's door and kind of, Captain? Yeah, she, what is her name again? Franzano. Franzano and the lady as well, Faltrina, are here for their meeting this morning. And you hear Zavra kind of, send them in. The door opens and you get a small glimpse inside. Roll me a perception check, guys.
18.
5.
8. So 17.
I'm not. I don't know about the stairs. I don't think I'm here.
You might be for this. I mean, you've
Catching this as well.
yeah.
Wow. 18 plus 4 is 22.
So you guys get a pretty good glimpse inside. It is a very large space inside. There's also a curtain that leads to a balcony beyond, where you can see like the wind kind of blowing from the sea as it kind of spilling the light into the room. Very large bed, beautiful dresser, nice large round table with several chairs around it, and several rugs that kind of dot the floor. Most of the rugs, from what you catch at the quick glance of like the door opening and closing, look fairly well worn but nice at one point. It's a very beautiful room inside, actually, and very spacious. Before the door closes shut. And time continues to pass on for a little while.
Can you, spell the names?
Yes, so the male elf was Franzano. It's Franzono. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
And Faltrina, Faltrina.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Faltrina.
I spelled it cookie.
Faltrina.
And can I ask if I recognized the male elven voice as the male voice I heard speaking to the captain last night?
Roll me, a general intelligence check.
It's a 12.
It's hard to tell. The
Yeah.
deep voice coming from behind the wood, difficult to tell. But some time passes, about a half an hour or so, before the two elves exit, and you see Zobra kind of like, Skip, we'll have to put them on the next ship. They will be going over to the King's Whip to assist with some medicine. Okay there, Captain, that's no problem, sorry, we're going to have to push it back just a little bit longer. Sorry, we have to get these two on before you. That's my fault. I'm sorry about that. Be another 10 or so minutes. It won't take long. The King's Whip's just over there. You see it now, as you see the broken and half destroyed frigate that lies still between the two other large ships. From this vantage point, it's not too far away, probably a couple hundred feet. People are very actively working on it, but as you kind of look across, you see two blue-robed figures also atop board, and you see them kind of putting their hands out towards the sails, where the sails kind of like begin to repair themselves slowly as they kind of push their hands towards it.
Any word on what caused or who attacked?
Oh, well, I haven't had a chance to get the captain over to see the other captains of the fleet yet, but I guess it was probably some Rodolph ships, just based on the fact that we got the Armada with us. That's one of the risks we do have when we got the big white and blue sails with us, but if Captain says, Captain says.
Okay. A little bold to attack so close to a neutral zone, isn't it?
Well, a couple of days ago we weren't this close.
Well, I guess, yeah.
It's war.
Yes. A war I'd likely stay out of if I can, that's for sure. And I intend to. It'll just be a little bit longer. We'll get these two aboard the next ship, Captain. Very good, Skip. I'm going to retire for now. When the other captains are ready, please inform me and I will go to meet them, yes. I need to catch a few more winks, though. Absolutely, Captain. You got it. Stan, keep a sharp eye! You see Stan up in the crow's nest, just peeking out. As you guys look out, you see a lot of activity. There's a lot of small little boats going back and forth from ships, carrying people. You see another ship just coming in, or pardon me, a small little rowboat coming towards this ship with a whole load of supplies on it. The gangplank kind of cracks down, and the crew begin to load the supplies onto the ship before they finish up, and then the two elves get onto that boat and begin to make their way to the frigate.
Tim Dell will be able to tell that like I was just like frozen in space, like just sort of locked eyes, but also my mind was elsewhere. A sigh of relief kind of holds up against.
They don't see me, they don't see me, they don't see me.
They're gone. Yeah.
Are you done now?
Yes, sorry, Tim Dell. Apologize. No elves. No elves allowed, just right? I'll tell you more later tonight.
Okay. Very uncomfortable.
In the time that you guys are waiting for the small boat to come back and collect you for your chance to go over to the island, Cassian kind of comes up and, just want to give you a small update.
You can feel me tugging.
I'm not entirely sure if you know, but your friend is very sick and I will need a bit more care than I was expecting, actually.
Well, what does that mean?
It will be a number of days before he's back on his feet, I'm sure. At least at my disposal. I am doing my very best, but
Well, do something.
I am sorry.
So, anything we can do to
I'm
fetch something for you, so any kind of poultice that we can find for you.
You can check if they have a particular route. It's called a canis route.
Canis.
Yes. It's spelled K-A-N-I-S. That is usually something that I would have for my home remedies. It's quite strong. It will make him very sick, but only temporarily, and it will clear things up a lot quicker. He's having some digestive problems, it seems. Probably not used to the sea, the air sometimes, and it is warm. Should probably have the window open more. Sorry.
Guys, like you're trying to say about I will throw
Fists.
I will punch you in the shin.
I'm gonna keep doing this.
If they have any of that at port, here, take a few coins. It shouldn't be more than this, and passes 2 silver over to you. Get as much as you can.
Come now, sir. Hand up.
As you hear kind of Skippy, all right, if you're heading aboard there, I got another ship going. How many is it?
I'm standing in front of him. I have my backpack on.
Kushagra?
Ready
Okay.
to go.
Directly behind him.
1, 2. Are you guys there as well?
We'll be in the back, probably of the 3 of you, I'm assuming.
1, 2,
There appears to
3,
be 5.
Fine, that's no
4,
problem.
5 and a half.
Oh, even better. There'll be a little bit of leg room then. All right. Now,
At the half remark, you can just feel the hand in yours, just like digging into
Digging
you.
in.
Yeah.
Now we'll be the boats are going to be going back and forth all day. So if you're waiting and there's nothing there, just wait a little longer. We got eyes looking at the docks. So if you're there and no one's there, just give a wave or what have you. We'll get you. But make sure you're back aboard before morning, just in case. If once the ships are ready, she's gonna ship off.
So we have until nightfall before we cast off.
Well, just before the morning tomorrow, we'll be shipping off tomorrow if that frigate's repaired. And those lovely those Blue Knight fellows from the nation are doing some sort of magic work on it. It seems so they might go a little bit faster.
Good morning. Not much time to find a drink.
Oh, you've got all day.
Not much time to find a drink.
You're a bit bigger than me, I suppose. Looks up at you, and then looks up at Usk. Actually, well, except for you, there. What are you, a drinker?
I'm not a talker.
Obviously.
Well,
I don't like anyone.
Jara will make sure you get there. You see this girl wearing like a purple dress and sitting in the boat, frazzled, hair, kind of like grumpy looking. Looks tired, working all morning already.
Who's Sovereign?
No, sitting in the boat waiting is a lady named Jara.
John.
Board up,
Good.
nestle in by Jara.
All right, well, here we go. Begins to row out. And as you guys enter the area,
Mr. Barrett. Montgomery?
Hailstorm.
The third.
The third.
Perhaps a song was in order for this voyage. You have something for us, perhaps?
Perhaps. For the right price. Friends discount, obviously.
What is your usual wage?
You know what? I'll play and let you decide.
Ah, yes.
It seems only fitting.
Honor system.
Yes.
How far away are we?
it is probably about 10-15 minutes to row in from where the boat is. It's not terribly far.
20 minutes.
Take me with you.
Get in the mouth and just.
Are you swimming?
Roost literally just rolls out.
Oh no! Ran overboard!
You just see carving through the water.
Oh my,
I
he
wouldn't
seems
say
okay.
bad.
He's okay.
I am sure that he's quite capable of no one.
From the looks of it. Leaning over.
We're
Right.
probably still rocking.
Just like
yeah.
slithering
700
through.
pounds of gator just fell out of the boat.
We're probably much quicker now.
Yeah.
As you kind of like
No, it's-
swim through the water and possibly diving down at points, looking below, you see there is a lot of fish. There is a coral reef below. It is beautiful and
Oh, that poor
vibrant and
habitat.
blue. It's lovely.
Gator boat.
You see like squids and everything
No
kind
longer
of
a habitat.
We just
darting around at the
apex
far
predator.
bottom.
Mouth open.
It's a very deep cove, though. But you see where the land begins to like form up the rocky mountain, and then the giant cove as you continue to swim on. But there's lots of fishies.
Shocking, this gets a little shorter now.
Fish are friends.
Beach crust off.
As we approach the shore, I'll toss a silver over to bear it. That was very wonderful. Made the voyage much faster. Thank you.
So as the boat begins to pull up to this very small dock, you see the bay is, as I discussed, very, very deep, steep cliffs on either side that lie within, and then this long, sprawling beach that just spans basically the entire bed of the cove, I suppose. Within that is a very small trade dock where you see along this bay, from your distance as it is daylight, you can see a lot of little tents and hovels that kind of dot the beach along the miles and miles of beach that there actually is along the shoreline. And you see this small port town where there are very few buildings, but there is one large kind of... It's built over top of most of the dock, where the dock kind of goes into it, and it acts more like a large warehouse. Where as you kind of come in, as the boat begins to stop, and then you guys begin to board onto the actual dock, you see many different merchants and traders with goods kind of out on display around the area. You also see beyond that a little path that leads up this kind of rickety looking wooden step case up to a wooden building that's kind of built up into the rocky side well, it's actually mostly stone on the bottom, but you see a wood portion of it built atop the stone. This kind of two-story, somewhat small-looking building with a sign kind of swinging from the breeze out front of it. You see two windows that kind of dot either side of this wooden door beyond. And she kind of like, all right, well, enjoy your stay and be safe. And begins to row out as you guys exit. Of which case, it's probably been... you will lose your disguise shortly. Right? We are bored.
I always think of Harry Potter and the potion.
Oh, poison potion? Oh, it's a potion.
So yeah, you kind of catch a glimpse of your hand beginning to change back, and
Just sort of slink it into the cloth
You should wear gloves.
with it. That's quite an interesting idea. Maybe I should find some on that.
you guys hear this. Whisk jumps up onto the dock, soaking wet. Shakes himself off a bit.
I assume that you ate a lot down there.
Starts chewing. Fish. Ooh.
Let's see if you caught anything. Roll me a survival check.
We introduced an apex predator into the
Delicate ecosystem.
yeah.
Nat 20.
You basically swam through like huge schools of fish with your mouth open, just like a whale. You've eaten a lot already.
That's good.
Just got a visibly full belly on the left.
Oh yeah.
Crocodile smile.
Ready for that sunbath.
Very good. Yeah, as you guys dock on this, you notice like it gets quite shallow actually at this point, where you definitely couldn't bring in big ships into this area where the sandbars become quite high, and you would need to take small ships in order to actually dock here. Like that's why nobody's actually bringing their ships into this dockside. It's because you can't. The bay has a fairly steep drop off. So, what do you guys want to do?
Starting to tingle and, change over again. Like, Tim down. I believe it's fine. Time to find this route.
Yep.
Maybe some gloves.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna wordlessly just start dragging you.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
pick you up for the water part.
It's like,
Jeez.
it's like someone who picks up a baby and doesn't
Yeah.
know what to do with it.
This time the baby's also like,
Also not really comfortable.
yeah, no. very much.
Okay, so picking up a cat.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Wow, sometimes.
I mean, you drop her, just kind of. And she'll grab you by the arm.
Kushagra will be looking for just like somebody on the shore who looks like a local.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of people. Well, there's probably about 3 or 4 merchants actually in the stalls area, and that's
Somebody-
about all you see right now.
Yeah, somebody who's behind a stall, somebody's
Okay.
like there. Pick the closest one. What do they seem to be selling, or what do they
Peddling.
look like?
So there's most of the merchants seem to be selling. Actually,
Fish or food or shells?
there is one
or-
that's selling, for example, like random gear, adventuring gear. For example, you see clothes, backpacks, baskets, all sorts of fishing tackles, disguise kits, loots,
Okay.
manacles, pouches, robes, a very wide variety of things, as well as like this large rowboat that's kind of like behind on this large shelving unit that's behind, that has a big sign that says 75 gold pieces nearby it as well. And you see a vendor who has a number of like semi-crude weaponry, and then you see a few nice particulars. You see a kind of glass case with this beautiful pistol sort of thing inside of it, with a price tag on it that says 350 gold pieces. And then you also, the 2 other traders, I guess, would just be trading relative goods. Seems like most of what they have is fish, fishing bait, salt, ginger, dried meats, and some peppers as well. But as you kind of go up to one kind of...
I'll go to the fish stall.
Good afternoon.
Hello, my good sir. I would like to purchase one of your. Do you have any trout?
And trout.
Business here.
No trout, but
Master Fisher.
if you're looking for this, I got a big fat card.
That would be perfect.
Okay,
How much?
5 copper.
5 copper. Yes. As I'm taking it out, I'll. I guess I don't have they don't have paper that they wrap it in or something.
You want it
Like a big
wrapped?
leaf.
It's a wet
Like a
fish.
leaf or something.
1 second.
There's very fine clothing in this backpack.
Takes a few like ruffles of straw and just kind of folds the fish into it. Is that good?
Ah, yes, that would be perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it'll keep it somewhat
Thank you.
dry, I
As
guess.
I'm giving the 5 copper.
5 copper.
5 copper over. I will just go offhand say you wouldn't know where to find this Lady Red.
Yeah. Really red? Yeah, I don't usually go too far out of the
A mystic of sorts. She does readings.
mystic.
That's a song.
Well, there'd be people talking about it, but I've never been there myself. I reckon maybe check up at the Smothered Sailor. Maybe somebody there knows.
Smothered sailor. Well,
That
thank you
sounds
very
like a
much.
tavern if I ever heard of one.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Old Gristle Jack's been on the island a long time. He knows a few things.
Crystal Jack?
Grizzled Jack.
Crystals.
Crystal
Crystals.
Jack.
That's way
Crystal Jack.
Gristle.
Still
Yes.
Like
Gris-
the stuff you burn off meat.
Grizzled. Grizzled Jack. Probably smooth skins,
What was the name of the tavern?
Smothered sailor.
The smothered sailor, just up at the hill there.
soft hands. I'm picturing just a pleasant fellow.
Grissom Jack is... I wouldn't call him a pleasant fellow, no. Keep on his good side, he might give you some of that Selco stuff that he's always gnawing at.
Selco?
It's like a dried fish that he makes. It's kind of disgusting, I think, but he likes it. Makes it out of these weird creatures that live around here, fish. Something or other. I never quite had the taste for it.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Of course.
Oh, you said you needed supplies. Yes.
No more meat.
No more.
Hey, first time I heard a lizard man say that.
Blair with the one good eye.
What?
Missing an eye, eh?
No.
He found one.
Just protecting it then, I guess.
Wanders away from the stinky fish man.
You fish one?
I want to have a look at the gear guy.
Okay.
I kind of saunter over. What you selling?
What are you looking for?
Just perusing.
We have backpacks, baskets, bedrolls, blankets, clothes, both fine, costumes, traveler's clothes. If you're looking for some sort of pouch to put any fancy components into, I've got those. They'll hold all sorts of magical ones. They're a good kind. If you're looking for a set of dice, we sell those. I have a disguise kit around here somewhere, and let's see, if you're looking to do some fishing, I got a fishing tackle. A lantern here. It's a bit old and dusty. There's another loot. See here, kind of. Yeah, I've had this for a while. No buyers, but 50 gold. See, I already have one. What do you want? Do you could trade?
No, I'm quite happy with.
Maybe some manacles for you then.
I am interested in those.
2 gold.
It's always better.
2 gold.
Now they're good for both hands and feet.
Would you mind?
Oh, great.
Just don't clamp them, but I just want to see how they
Did they fit? Oh well, let me make sure I got the key.
I mean, I feel like that should have been with the.
Well, no, not exactly the most organized. Comes around and all right, actually, clanks them on.
It's never opened.
All right, now should I do with your feet as well?
No, just the hands is fine.
Yes, how's it feel? Not familiar, I hope. Just
I mean,
kidding.
depends on the woman, I guess.
Oh, is that what they're for? Wow.
Oh
I
man.
don't have any of those kind.
I mean, these are fine.
They'll do for you?
Yes.
Knocks them up.
So 1 gold.
2 actually. Yeah.
1.
Oh, who's saying?
Have you heard of me? They call me hardwood rich mahogany.
I haven't heard of that. No.
I'm a fairly well-traveled poet and musician.
Oh. Well,
I'm gonna pipe in and just say, yes, he is quite the well-renowned thespian.
Yes. Groupies.
I see. Roll me a persuasion check.
Can I help on that by?
With advantage.
Yeah. With advantage.
With advantage. Thank you. That is a 18.
Yeah. I suppose if knowing they're going to be used for something good, I can let them go for a gold.
Oh, thank you very much, kind sir.
Yeah, you are. They're all yours.
I put them in my bag.
So cool.
Give Baird a little wink as we walk away.
You want to use them?
I do not.
Fantasizing about being a prisoner is not safe.
It's not fantasizing being a prisoner. It's fantasizing when they come off.
Yes, the proverbial release.
Yes!
Oh my god.
I need to leave.
I need an adult.
I am an adult.
Just like retract my claws. Or let my claws out.
Start eating.
It's like a clenching. What about yourself then?
I guess if you happen to have a good dagger or two,
No, not me, but a fellow over there selling some weapons. Yeah, that's fair. Good luck to you all. Thanks for business. Walk over to the
see
next.
if I can pick up a few daggers.
I follow him too.
Okay.
Can I pull Tyndale once they've kind of put it off? Be like, see what that man would ask for a pair of gloves.
Just like my face is starting to warble into the purple.
Okay. Just gloves.
For now, if they have a mask of some sort,
I feel
something
like
to
there's
fix
something
this.
that needs to happen
Yes,
here.
of course,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Is there anything around that I can identify as clothing based?
He did have a disguise kit, and there are several sets of clothing. There's some really like common clothing. There's like a kind of a costume that's a little bit more ostentatious.
How ostentatious?
Fairly. There's like a mask that goes along with it, and kind of lots of frilly things and what have you, as well as some fine clothes, and then some more like
Most
traveling
embarrassing
clothes.
item. That's all.
That would be it. Yeah.
Than
Yes.
being a moonlight.
Yeah. Well, I gotta cover them up somehow.
I am proficient with the disguise kit.
Oh, hello there, sir. I didn't see you.
You can choose to ignore this if you'd like.
Do you say that to me?
Yes.
You want the disguise kit?
I would like the disguise kit if possible, if they have one. But
I've got one.
I'll just give kind of like probably about 10 feet away so that I don't get seen by the face and just kind
Sure.
of peering down.
Do you have a hood?
Yeah,
But it's okay.
it's totally covered. Yeah.
And how much for that? And I am pointing at the ostentatious costume.
Oh, that one. That one's only 8 silver.
Disguise.
8 silver and the disguise costume. The disguise.
Oh, that's a whole kit. It's got makeup in the works. That's a 35 gold piece.
She just slowly turns back to look at him.
Ostentatious.
Well, the costume's been a bit worn before. That's why it's so half price.
I'll give over the gold piece to.
I used to wear it around the dry seasons, but getting older.
I will pocket the gold piece from the museum and give. How many silver?
8.
I will unpocket the gold piece, and I will. That's the gold.
Thank you. Gives you a couple silver back.
And I will pocket said silver.
Pleasure. Pleasure doing business with you lot.
And this costume.
Just gonna hold it up like.
That's all they had.
It is very ridiculous. The colors are worn, but were at one point vibrant. It's like yellows, blues, oranges, teal, stripe pattern with
And you
big
were worried about
buttons.
standing out.
Motley. That was.
But it does have a mask that goes with it as well. That's kind of one of those strap-behind masks that just covers the face.
But we'll say it was a dare, right?
It's got like
Lost
the
bet.
2 teardrops or
Whatever
something
helps.
like that, and like some ostentatious
I
cheeks.
take the mask out of the pile, just to put it on. slap his face a few times on the side of his face.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see out of this thing. There's like two little holes basically, but
Love it.
Don't get lost.
it'll do.
Tag along.
Just moping. Just.
So as you guys go over to the weapons table,
Yeah.
looking for something sharp?
It's preferably something aerodynamic.
Well, I got a couple daggers here, spear, hand axe. What's your poison? I got this nice saber too. That's a beauty.
Quite magnificent.
Here, cat, you like claws? What about check out these claws? And puts like a pair of like hand straps with big long claws that come off of them.
Those are quite
Like punching
exquisite,
gloves,
yes.
basically.
But just the smaller daggers.
Daggers? Sure. How many would you like? I got about 8 or 9 of them.
What is the price of a dagger?
2 gold.
2 gold. Can I inspect the craftsmanship of these daggers? What do they look like? If it will allow me to hold them.
Pass one over.
Let's
Uh,
do the Thanos balance on the middle finger.
It's not they're not super well made, but they're passable. They're some of them, mixes of iron and steel. They're not finely crafted, but they are passable for sure.
Remind me again. You said 8 or 9
Oh,
of the daggers.
8. Let me check. 9.
9.
No, 8. That's not a dagger. That's just a big knife. I'll sell you the big knife for a gold.
Just the daggers will do. Now perhaps I'm sorry, but these are not the quality that I was looking for. Perhaps I can clear out your stock of daggers, make you a big sale today. If you were to give me some sort of discount. Try and haggle.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Yeah.
I think I'm proficient.
Before you roll, I'm gonna kind of give him a little bardic inspiration.
Sing a tune.
I'm gonna just play a little tune behind him, give you a D6 inspiration.
Oh, now it's starting to come alive.
Look
Oh,
at that.
wow.
Yes.
He needed that, yeah.
That is a 14 plus 1 is 15.
Your words become a little more
I'm gonna
sing-songy
switch.
and
For a new
earwormy.
Time for new days.
The deal sounds better with the background.
If you're willing to clean me out, I'll let the whole pile of them go for, say, 10 gold.
Wow. You did an excellent deal, my friend. I pass over the 10 gold happily.
Would you like these wrapped up or anything?
That'll be fine.
All right,
Find
what-
a little pocket in my sack.
Pass over 8 daggers.
Daggers, nice.
Oh, the thoughts.
Do you have any? Do you have a crossbow or a hand like a hand crossbow?
I don't have any crossbows, but I do have this beautiful. Pulls the case up and see a little tiny lock on the front of it. Puts it up in front of you. I got this beautiful black powder pistol.
May I?
You want to touch it?
Just a few.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Not much low.
That is a 18 plus 6.
So,
24.
you got. You look like a man who's got some coin, I suppose. All right, have a little peek here. It definitely fires. I'll show you that as he starts unlocking the case and pulls it open and puts it in his hands. And it's not loaded.
Well,
Passes
I
it over
wouldn't
to you.
expect it to be.
It's got a bit of weight to it. It's probably like 3 or so pounds in your hand, but it's really beautifully made. Actually, it's easily the nicest thing he's got by a country mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good on you. See, the barrel matches your horns even. Yeah. So, what do you think? 350 gold's the price.
Ooh.
Let it part since it looks so good on you for 340.
I set it back down. Unfortunately, I don't even think I can haggle you down to a price I'm willing to pay.
Yeah, strapped for cash, are you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it happens to the lot of us.
but
Well, it's here if you need it.
I will
Locks the case
keep
back.
in mind that this little beauty is here.
Well, if you're looking for something else, I've got a nice whip here. Cracks this whip out.
Oh yes.
This was owned by a fellow named Andy.
Andy?
Andy, yeah.
Andy.
Andy Bones, I believe.
How much for the whip?
Well, since it was owned by Andy, it's a gold piece for that. It's a bit worn, but it's got history.
It would go good with the animals.
Don't forget about the beautiful saber.
But I have my rapier. Yeah, I'll take the whip.
Ah, fine choice.
Yes.
Do Andy proud.
Yeah.
That's a gold piece then.
I hand him over a gold piece.
Pleasure. Profitable day so far.
Manacles in a whip. Now time for the tavern.
Oh no. Oh my god, the dominatrix studies.
That was fun.
It's not for me though.
That's right.
Well, if you need a net to go along with it, I've got a nice big net here as well. Good for catching large batches of fish or possibly, humans or the like. Yeah, sizes them up. It'd probably fit around you. I wouldn't try though.
That's not.
No, sorry.
Axe. Need. Big axe.
Alright, I got this one. Puts a little tiny hand axe up.
Bigger.
Sorry, I got nothing there that's bigger than that right now.
Possibly.
I'm not gonna argue with that. Crazy monster.
Will you be joining us for a drink at the tavern?
Barrel.
Alright, let's go to what was it called again?
The smothered sailor.
Smothered sailor.
Smothered sailor.
I did everything backwards there. All the
Barrel.
intro stuff is at the end. So
So making our way
you
towards.
guys are done shopping, yeah?
Making our way downtown.
So yeah, it's not far. You just walk basically out of the door of this this big kind of over the docks warehouse that's kind of built. There's lots of spare room. There's clearly way more room for more merchants than there should be right now. But there's enough that you can kind of get by at least. But of course, but anyway, as you go out, you see built again into this mountainous structure. This stone base and rickety kind of wooden walkway that goes up kind of a staircase style, where you see a sign that says Smothered Sailor out front. And you guys head in?
What kind of tavern is this? Is this like a nice, quiet, sit down with your family kind of tavern, or is this,
Well, from the outside, it does not certainly look that way, as there's like that salty kind of moss that's growing up the stonework. You see the roof of it kind of ramshackled over top, where at the very back half of it, you see this wooden extension basically that's built up above it, that's kind of built into the mountain a little bit more, so it's holding together relatively well, but it's not super pretty from the outside, that's for sure. The door's kind of half tilted, but you can see the two windows from either side of the door. Looking in, you can see a fire burning, like the light coming from it from one side. On the other side, you just see this dark, like something is blocking the window, basically.
Yeah, we'll go up and try the door.
As you move the door, the thing that's standing by that blocked window kind of shifts a little bit. As you open the door, to your direct left, there is this massive Goliath-sized person just standing there with this kind of boyish, dopey look on its face, like, and this kind of bowl-cut blonde hair. He stands probably like 7 foot, like Usk he's like your height, he's huge. And then to the direct right is the bar. The bar is quite small, but immediate to the right of the entrance is the bar, and then you see a cluster of sort of chairs and tables arranged in no particular order, with several individuals that are seated around them. There is, behind the bar, a fireplace where there's pots hanging from above it, and you kind of smell cooking coming from that pot. There's a table of cupboards and shelves that are kind of strewn with bottles, and you see fish hanging and some vegetables and fruits and things like that for cooking. And a staircase at the back that leads up to a second level where you can see this balcony where sits at a table atop that a single lone dwarf. Amongst the individuals in the room as well. So behind the bar you see a human male with this bald head and it's kind of a scraggly beard that's kind of black and gray, patchy and thin, kind of close to the skin. His face is really greasy and shiny. He's kind of gnawing on this hunk of meat of some kind. And then the giant person to your left kind of just openly chuckles a little bit as you come in. Then you also see a female woman at the same table as a male human who's a lot older than her. She has a beautiful head of like red hair on one side, and then the entire other side of her face is completely burned and scarred and very hard to look at. She kind of turns away as you come in, and the other gentleman at the table kind of looking over, you see that he has a patch over one of his eyes, and then in the very corner of the leftmost corner of the bar, you see a pair of green eyes that poke under from a thin dark gray hood, and these bright orange ears that poke out from these small holes in this hood. See kind of black spots under their chin and kind of white bit of fur as a tabaxi sits in the corner with these kind of brown leathers, and the leg propped up on the table and kicked back into the chair and kind of sizing you up as you guys enter.
I just want to make a point that
My
we
people.
are not there.
Oh, you guys aren't there? Okay, no. So just you three.
Does anybody make any? Is anybody else startled by our arrival, or
So,
make a first move? Like I would be looking over at the bartender. I noticed the tabaxi and the other patron, but I'd be looking for a cue from the bartender to speak.
So as you guys kind of finally get your way in and have this look around, the bartender kind of like,
welcome to the smothered sailor there. Come on in, find yourselves a table. Are you looking for drink or food or both? We've got hot water and bread if you like it.
I'm here for spicy water.
Oh, a mug of ale or a pitcher for the table. There's also stew on the back there as well.
Quick question.
Yes?
Kegs.
Well, what of it?
Points at Oost.
You want a whole keg?
How much?
Whole keg? What do I buy them for? 4 gold for the whole keg.
No, right. Take it.
Let's go weekend, I guess. Do an intimidation check.
are you gonna just like stand there and be menacing?
Yeah.
Okay. Make me an intimidation check.
19.
Oh, I see. Well,
Rumbling, peering into his
what say if you give a tussle with old rough Luke over there? Give us a bit of entertainment for the afternoon. Maybe we might be a little easy on that price. Knock half of the gold offer.
You get to fight.
You see
and less
the
money.
giant like Goliath man just kind of like cracks his knuckles.
Okay. Well, not quite yet there, Lukey boy. Just hold on a moment here. Let me talk to this gator man. Well, don't worry. This bar's seen plenty of good roughhousing.
Been long since fight.
Sounds like we got ourselves a bargain there. All right, move the tables aside there.
And you see Rough Luke kind of grind one of the tables aside before he kind of rolls his shoulders back, gets himself ready in a wrestling kind of stance and squats down.
No, there's no weapons here. It's a fair wrestle down to the ground. And if he pins you, well, it's best of 3 there, Gator Boy. So you better pin him twice after that.
Can I? I'm gonna go around and kind of like, kind of just in passing around the rest of the bar, taking bets.
Okay, so who do you want to go to first?
I'll go to the what was a dwarf that was gnawing on the.
There's a dwarf sitting at the top balcony in the
Oh.
very back, like upstairs, and then there's a pair. There's the scarred woman, and then the one-eyed human, like an old man.
I'll go to them first,
Okay.
and be like 2-1 on the gator.
See, she's like,
Yeah, exactly. What's your take?
how much?
1 gold.
Deal. Throws a gold.
I put a piece of gold with it to kind of
matching.
Are you
Match it?
in, Willis?
You playing CeeLo?
No, I'm playing some bets on the fight.
Watch.
Any other takers on the bet?
You hear kind of a little bit of a no from the corner. As you're looking in the room as well, you catch eyes with this
Yeah, I'm gonna
tabaxi.
purchase my own mug of ale.
Okay.
Just I'm not interested in the keg.
Just for the one mug there, it's a silver piece there,
Yeah,
mister.
From 2 silver pieces.
Oh, that's very kind of you, there. It's like try a bit of this. I make my own, I call it salko. It's like a dried fish I make out of the kuatoa.
Gross.
I have already eaten today, but
Rips it.
my thanks. I
All
will
right.
just enjoy the fight.
Enjoy, yes, indeed.
I'm gonna slink around the taxi by myself, cockpit. And slink, like, circle around while. Are they setting up, like, a ring in the middle?
No, he literally just pushes one table a little bit further away, and that's about it.
So he's quite in the corner, the tabaxi. He's
Let me show
looking
you guys.
very reclined and.
You guys all ready? All right.
That's.
So, as we come back from our break, we'll jump back to Tyndale and Lucian down on the docks. So, what are you guys doing?
Like a herbalist somewhere.
Herbalist, yes.
There doesn't appear to be. The traders that you guys have interacted with are the only ones that seem to be there at the moment.
Perhaps I can find someone in the tavern. If there's a hunter-gatherer or something like that in the town.
We're probably still around that merchant that we bought the costume from.
If you're just milling about, looking at things.
So it's just basically just the 2 merchants.
There's 4. There's there's 2 that are basically selling like fish and normal goods, and then there's the one who's selling all the random like goods, and then the weapons dealer basically.
Okay, I'll go back to random goods guy.
Okay.
Canis root?
Canis root. Are you asking me if I've got any? Oh, Jesus Christ, he actually does. He pulls out like this little envelope and kind of. Oh, that is the stuff. 5 silver. Goes for it. Okay. Passes you this kind of. It looks like there's like almost like grease inside of it. It's got the like stained through and this kind of paper envelope, and he passes it over to you, and the smell of it is like musty socks. It's not very pleasant.
Cool. Is there any way I could do a kind of like a check? Would I know what Canis fruit is?
Make me a nature check.
Probably bad at this.
Oh shit. Can I?
You want to go in on this as well?
Can I?
Yep. You guys can either roll with advantage or or one each. It's
I have
fine.
a +5 on nature.
You do that then. You gotta give you advantage.
With
You do
advantage?
that.
As you guys like both look into this and kind of like, whoa.
Is it like a?
It's like it looks like black, gnarled, burnt, like twigs almost is what it kind of looks like. And there's these little sprouts that are popping off it that are kind of a yellowish color.
I'm a fun guy.
16.
Okay.
Yeah, +5.
So between your collective understandings and what you were told aboard, this is similar to like a very powerful antibiotic when it's used appropriately. It's not meant to be ingested as it is right now. That'll just make you really sick if you were to eat it right now. But if it's like boiled down or something along those lines, maybe mixed with something else, it does act as a very powerful antibiotic where it will basically just eject whatever's bad inside of you. It's going to make
But we do identify
very,
it
very
as
sick.
Canis root.
Yeah, but you do know that's what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you've possibly seen it before, maybe here or there, if you're traveling through Silvertown or something like that.
Yeah.
As like a fairly easily found thing when you're looking for it specifically. It's common enough, but meant to be taken
Thank you.
in bed. You're welcome.
Tim, is there anything else you'd like to go and investigate?
And she starts to look around at that for material good. Like I'm not sure. She wants to just get scraps.
Okay.
Any kind of scrap she can get her hands on.
Roll me some
Metal.
perception check as you kind of glance around.
Oh, jeez. Hello.
17.
Okay.
Yeah, girl.
Kind of wander by the weapons table, and you see a number of like handles, portions of blades, like incomplete weapons, basically. You know, broken arrows, things along those, like little balls and small little pouches of kind of powder and things like that. As you kind of browse by.
Okay, so I'll walk up to Merchant and look up.
Yes.
How much?
Those?
Everything.
You want to buy that?
No. I want to take it off your hands.
Well, I was planning on turning these into something useful someday, or perhaps we can make a deal.
How far are you from me?
I was pretty close. Now that I've got my mask on, I'm good to go.
Looking good.
Looking great in my old clown costume.
At the further the social interaction, like as he says, let's make a deal. I kind of like you can see my little hand
Like
kinda reaching back for something.
For something?
Yeah, just like you basically.
Oh, okay.
I don't like being alone.
Gotcha. Anyhow.
Well, I can't let him go for nothing. What do you say? Let me see. Okay. A gold piece for all of it?
How much is that?
It's probably like 4 or 5 blades that are kind of loose, about 3 or 4 handles, some bits of metal, scraps like lead, and like portions of flint and things like that. It's a mixed match of scraps, probably about a pound worth of like scraps. Maybe 2 pounds actually. Gold piece sounds about right.
What? Am I putting the bill? Slap a gold
Very
piece.
good. Let me just wrap this all up here. It's kind of sitting on a cloth, and he just takes the 4 corners and bundles it up, ties it off with a little bit of twine, and kind of. There you are, little one.
Oh,
Just take the box. It's a what? Yay, big.
It's like a sack of
the sack of it.
bits of metal kind of pointing in different directions and things like that. It's almost like a hazardous environment thing.
Just
come along, donkey!
Just lug it back behind me at like a weird angle.
It's like probably about this big worth of stuff, but
Okay.
jagged and pointy in areas where things are about to
Just
pierce
picture,
through.
like a metal's like poking
Yeah.
through the sack. Yeah, it's gonna be at an arm's reach the
Okay.
whole time.
It's got about 2 pounds worth of like scraps. Yeah. Some wood and metals.
Are you going to build me a mask with this too? Mm-hmm.
You paid for it.
You're just looking through these little peepholes of eyes.
To get this ridiculous mask on.
It since it is used, it's kind of stinky.
I got a feeling.
Yeah,
Old mask on it.
yeah. It's got like stains of yellow from someone wearing it for a long time, pressing against their face, and like hot costume and attire.
I'm kind of noticing, obviously, he can't really walk because he has essentially no eyes with his mask, and there's lots of metal jagged things coming out of this thing. I'm going to go back to the merchant. A box?
A box for sure. Pulls. There's like a bunch of just random boxes, like Costco style. Takes it up. It's all yours.
Fumble around for it.
She's holding it out so you can put the bag in. She'll carry the box.
Takes it from me.
Come along.
Bonk.
Brush into the table. A couple of the weapons kind of. Hey,
Oh.
watch yourself there.
Oh.
Apologies.
Put your hand on my shoulder and I'll guide you out. So we're just gonna go up to the tavern then.
Leave so. Burn a drink. Give you some.
Is there a mouth hole?
Make one, damn it.
There's like a tiny little like slit.
You can put it in a straw.
Yeah, you can fit a straw in it. Yeah.
Do it straw.
Take a
Okay,
blade of
we'll
grass
make our
on the
way
way
up.
up. Yep.
Yeah.
So as you guys make your way towards like up this wooden rickety platform, you kind of hear the like oh and sliding of furniture and things like that as you open the door, and you see like Usk standing there ready to like wrestle, and a man who's kind of like taking his shirt off and very tall as well, big burly muscles on him and thick kind of big belly and this really ridiculous blonde haired bowl cut over top of his kind of dopey face. And, alright! Ready?
I hate it here.
As Bristlejack's kind of like,
Welcome there, you two. Hey, step aside there, lads, for a second. Let those two in. Welcome to the smothered sailor. Have a seat anywhere you're comfortable there.
I'll take a gold coin out of and I'll pass it to you, and I go sit somewhere that I'm out of the way.
okay. I'd say probably near Kushagra would be a decent spot then, I suppose, or like over here if you like.
Yeah, that's fine.
So they're kind of in the dominant entrance, and you would like to.
Yeah, I'll be following her. She's my guiding.
Well,
Hand
yeah,
in hand.
I give you the gold piece and
So they come over to your table more or less,
So
and
give
you're
me a bunch.
sitting
Well, I'm
nearby.
asking to, I would have pointed at the empty seat at the tabaxi's table and just kind of like motion as if like, is this seat taken? Basically, without saying any words, I'd like to try to see if it's okay if I sit with them.
See a very slight nod.
And I just silently sit down and get rid, and like that's all I do to interact for now, while the fight starts.
See her
But there's a table right beside it. So
take a drink of the mug that
Yes,
she's
sit there and
have a drink
I
of
look
ale
over
as she's kind of like.
give you a nod of recognition. Squint at the clown who walked in right here as I piece together who I'm speaking.
it's pretty funny. It's okay to laugh.
Gonna do one of these. It's like the mask. Just immediately see it flowing down the mask.
So as
All right, everyone, we're about to see a bit of a show here. Now stand aside, let the two lads wrestle it out.
Come on, Oos.
All right, Luke. He's all yours.
as Luke's kind of like, all right, are you ready? Puts his like one arm on your arm, and he allows you to put your arm on the other arm and kind of get into this wrestling mode. All right, and he lunges in. All right, let's make some athletics. There's gonna be a little competition here. What did you get?
11.
Okay, so as he's more ready for you than you were for him, and also using a bit of like leverage against the wall, he kind of like and pushes you back against the bar. You see the bar kind of like shake from it before he turns you around and puts you onto your belly basically. And he's got you by one arm and holding like kind of by the neck a little bit. Make another athletics check.
Ooh. It's cocked. That is 12. It's not ready for this fight.
Yeah, he pins you down for a moment, and then he kind of like lets you up a little bit. First one's mine. As you kind of go in for the second one, he kicks your leg out from underneath you, and you feel your whole body kind of swing for a moment. Make me an athletic or an acrobatics check. Excuse me.
30 hits.
12 again.
You do not have the footing right now, and unfortunately, you fall basically straight into the stone wall, and poof! You are going to take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as your face smacks against the stone wall. A little bit of blood kind of coming from your nose as he pins you against the wall before throwing you back down to the ground. What do you think? Keep going? Or do you say uncle?
I'm gonna slightly cast Bardic Inspiration on
Start singing?
Usk as he's
Is there like a...
just kind of like humming a melody of
Maybe like a sea shanty.
Yeah.
Kind of start slowly getting the bar into it. I catch it, start like
A little bit of banging?
Yeah.
my tankard on the table in time with it. Trying.
Uncle, come on, say uncle. He's pressing into the back of you. You trying to keep up? Going for it?
Yeah.
All right. Ooh.
That's rough. It's 8.
He's getting the better of you all the way as you not too bad. Rolls you onto your back for as you try and get up, and then you kind of like before he punches you back down into the ground. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, and boom, your head kicks back, and a little bit of blood kind of like coughs out of your mouth. He gets off and stands back in the corner. Keep going.
Leave him up there.
You gonna keep going?
Moose goes for the fucking tackle.
Okay, roll me athletics check. Let's see if you can dodge out of the way here. So he gives you a bit of space, and you kind of...
He has been. An 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
As you lunge towards him, he just kind of sidesteps you using your momentum, and you whap straight into the stone wall again for 3 points of bludgeoning damage. Pow! And he slams you into the back as well, and like kind of forcing you against it. Come on, keep going. This is fun.
We all know what we Luke just shoves him off.
That's a tough one there, old laddie. Old Luke gets the better of you again. Hey, fine job, Luke. Come on. Get your mug here.
He passes Luke a mug of ale. He's very good. Pats you on the back a little bit. Much fun. Next time, yeah, another one soon. And basically sculls the whole thing, and then
They're looking nervous with all the bets that he did.
Only one person took him up on the bed, it seemed.
you hear the coins kind of scrape across the table.
Oh, better luck next time, old crocky boy. Here.
The worst music in the world.
You still up for that keg, though? The deal still stands.
My keg.
Well, 4 gold then, sorry you lost there. But old Luke's been at this for many a year, and he's happy to get out of a rough play, and that's for certain.
Was good fight.
Aye, you're a better man for holding your own for as long as you did.
Pay 5.
Oh,
Step.
well, thank you very much, Mr. Fur. Here, try some of this.
He pulls from his vest pocket this like piece of white-ish dried meat. You'd recognize it as some sort of fish of some kind, but it's been heavily dried and salted, and it's kind of really stinky.
Just grabs it.
I call it Salco.
Keep it keg.
Oh, maybe that would be good.
You see him like take a bit and dip it in his mug of his own, and
It's not too bad, actually. So, what the likes are you doing on the Lonesome Island, then?
Supplies.
Hey, that's always the case here, that's for sure. You in port for long, then? Probably not.
Just shakes his head.
And you're with these folk, are you?
and he kind of gestures to Barrett and Kushagra.
Oh, Barrett's at the bar right now. Looks like. That's the bar on the right hand side, right?
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
It's a small room. Everyone can hear everything, though.
With cat.
Aye, not this other one in the corner there, Lucille.
No, they're not with me.
I meant no offense there, is he?
Only cat this time.
Well, that's fair enough. Anywhere you're headed particularly from here?
Ask many questions.
Well, I don't mean to impose, I'm just a curious old man.
Forgive my scaled friend, he is not much of a talker.
Aye, that's totally fine with me.
I imagine Usk is finding a seat somewhere in dejection to drink his keg. I'll say,
See
Usk,
Luke putting his shirts back on and stuff.
it's never a good idea to eat directly before a fight. I'm sure you would have won with a little emptiness in the belly.
You're right. Who made face?
Naturally. I'd like to turn my attention to the tabaxi sitting at the table.
Okay.
And just... Lucio, was it? I just went into pirate mode there. I'm not acquainted yet. My name is Kushagra.
Yes, I'm called Lucille sometimes. Pleasure. She reaches out her paw and kind of...
Are there many tabaxi coming through this area?
No, not through here, no. I am just visiting for a short period of time. A bit of business. A few days, but be expecting my ride shortly.
What business do you have in the island?
I needed to speak with someone who lives here, and this is the only way to reach her. She lives down the end of the beach. A few hours walk, but worth the adventure. If you're seeking guidance, she's quite helpful.
Very interesting. I also am seeking an individual known for providing guidance.
I would say this might be the same person.
Lady Red, no?
This is the same, though I know her by a different name from before. Which I did not forget. I just have to look up.
Lucio, right? Is the tabaxi thing?
I know her as Scythia.
Cynthia?
Scythia. Cythia. Scythia Wren. It's 2 N's. She's said to have been here for many years, but I was told I needed to come and see her specifically, so I did. I came. Got what I needed.
You've already seen her then?
Oh yes, just the other night. Made my way back here and just waiting for my ride.
I'll have to pay her a visit. Would you mind laying out more detailed instructions to her hut?
Yes, well,
On the
it's
beach, you said? Yes.
about 10 miles down the beach, actually. Her hut is...
10 miles. What's that? I don't know.
It would be about a 4-hour walk or so, due to the fact that it's sand, so it's a bit harder to walk through. Her tent
Actually,
is...
it's like daytime, right?
It's
like
still
morning.
pretty morning, like I would say maybe 10 by now. It's still quite early though.
Already drinking kegs and
I was
resting.
gonna say, man.
I mean, you guys are on a weird schedule right now.
Good life.
You're living kind of the good life. Yeah, you're on a
Cooped up for
cruise.
while
You're in a
on
cruise
the
ship.
boat, right? So yeah, it's true. It's a cruise. You
It's a
drink all
cruise.
the time.
You're on a cruise, go see the natives. Fight.
Her tent is somewhat easy to see as
And then
it's
drink about it.
red, though it's been faded from the sun, but it's relatively easy to find.
I'm sure I will be able to find her. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. She lives against the forest like most of them, so just keep, a sharp eye that many a stranger out here.
If you were to be having another ale, I would love to purchase it for you in exchange for maybe a story. Where you come from, perhaps.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I'd be happy to take an ale from you.
I'll put what was it, 3 silver?
For 1 ale, I believe was 2 silver.
I think you paid 3 silver, so it was.
Yeah, for a
I'll
mug
put-
is 1 silver actually.
One, so you give 2.
But you're running really low on silver. I'll put a gold down, so that's all I got.
Oh, mighty generous of you there. When you're hungry at all.
Well, this is just at the table that we're at. This
Oh,
is just
okay.
for Lucille. So I just put the gold down for Lucille.
Oh.
And I say, again, I am very, very curious about your story and where you have come from, because I have not met many of my kind in my travels.
Make me a persuasion roll, but with advantage for
Because
the
it's money.
bride.
The money advantage. It's a persuasion save. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
12. 14.
I mean, it's hard for me to remember. I was very young when I was taken. My first memories are, well, I was in a cage for much of my first years. Yes, I can always remember being loaded onto a carriage of some sorts. It was the first time I'd ever seen daylight, actually. I remember it was so bright I couldn't see for several days until we were traveling on the road. My eyes took time to adjust. I was still young. But when the carriage stopped, it always stopped at night, and these metal men or metal creatures watched over me, and one night there was a fight of sorts. They were arguing and yelling, and a man revealed himself. They began to fight until he was the only one who stood. He was pointing at me before the argument and badly injured afterwards. I can still smell the blood as he unlatched the cage, and I was again very young, but he collapsed there, and I ran. I ran for years. Until I found my way and began to work and use my skills to earn my way. And now I'm here, you know. And what about you? You are Tabaxi as well.
Similar tale, unfortunately, for most Tabaxi that I meet. There's still yet to find where homeland is, where they come from. Do you remember what this man looked like, the one who fought for your freedom?
They were clad in metal. That's all I knew. I was so young that I thought they were something else, but I assume now that they were knights of some kind. I've heard of a group. They called themselves the Judicars of Light, and I always thought maybe it was Paladin or something who saved me from a certain fate, perhaps.
Unicars of Light.
That's my imagination, perhaps driving something that might not have been, but
Well,
I'd like to think that he
perhaps.
died for what he believed in.
Don't we all? Well, thank you, Lucio. You take this for your story.
Oh, this is very generous, kind of you. I didn't get your name?
Kushagra.
Kushagra. Very moment.
I think you did.
We might have,
We
yeah,
did.
actually. But anyway. If you're going to see the lady, I would suggest leaving soon. It will be dark on your way back if you don't.
Yes, I will be on my way after getting my ale. Thank
Maybe
you, Lucio.
you can join me for a drink later.
Perhaps we will see.
See a cheap shop.
They'll real aloof about that.
It's kind of like, well, I hope to.
It's like, yes, maybe. Look over and just like,
No.
Tim gives thumbs up.
yeah, that's my plan. Just to finish my ale and see what, like, check in with the others and then skedaddle.
So the rest of you guys, what are you doing? Anything in particular?
How long do you think that's passed in this time since we've arrived?
Once we were
10, 15 minutes or so. You watch the fight and then, I've been chilling after that, basically.
I probably was watching the fight. I probably looked through this box of goodies.
Oh, okay.
And seeing what I can scrap together to make some kind of mask for him. I mean, not making it on the floor or anything like that, but I'm sitting on the floor. And the box is like in between my two legs. As I'm kind
like under the table.
of, like
Or
digging
box.
through it a little bit, yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll make me a tools check. which would be your proficiency because you're proficient.
An 8.
You're kind of like, ooh, this is maybe I can. You start messing around with something, and then you get kind of halfway done, and you're like, this is fucked. I need to start over again. But that's about where you get with it. And you're like,
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Maybe,
So it was,
maybe a different arrangement.
Okay.
It's possible,
It is.
but some different arrangements than what you had. You're like 2 daggers coming down the front of it, and like something across. You're like. Kind of looks like that mask from Gladiator almost
Yeah.
for a second,
Nice.
but like way more
Also don't-
dangerous to
Also
wear.
don't hate that.
You're like, ah.
Well,
back to this
I'm
one.
thinking I can actually make it look like your face.
Oh.
Because I can use magical tinkering to make something look like something else. So I can actually make it look like your face, but it would
Amazing.
just be your. You wouldn't like. You wouldn't be being. Or you wouldn't smile. Like it would just be your
the man
face.
in the iron mask, basically.
Right.
Okay.
The
Leprosy mask.
what I'm doing is on the front of it too.
Okay.
If that's cool.
I
If you
grab
want,
my
because I can make
compass.
it look
Oh.
like you.
That's perfect for when visiting towns such as these.
Ah, okay.
So just
Cradles.
constantly
It just-
take guys out.
Right.
Oh my god.
So I
Yeah.
would say with the people that you're talking with at
Yeah,
the table,
which is
maybe.
useful.
Right.
So
Yes, or just kind of like
Love that.
where you just kind of have a
It
no
would just be like
to
a stab
Like, have you ever heard
in your
of
face.
this person?
just make it always smile.
just kind of putting it
person.
out there to like any type of
So-
network that might be able to get
exactly.
information back.
Your mouth doesn't
Okay.
make you talk.
Oh, from freaking.
I'd say for this, if you're using words, it'd be a different check. But if you're just kind of like trying to get a vibe,
I'm not even going for like right now. Right now, I want to send the message out to the network to it, and then kind of get more information back.
okay. So how would I do this? So if you're sending a message, you would need to either write a message to somebody or communicate with somebody in some way.
Because I was using my my background feature.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you'll still need to communicate with somebody to make that happen, right? It's like a mind brain of some kind, not necessarily.
I'll just kind of hand it off to the bartender.
Okay. He kind of slides it over and
Curious? Hey, reckon you might be interested to talk to that fellow up there on the balcony. Knows a few things.
He by himself.
Aye.
I turn around and start making my way up.
You go up to the top. In the corner, this dwarf who's kind of leaning against the wall. Aye, aye.
You have information, I hope, to get from you.
Looks down and kind of catches eyes with the bartender who's kind of like, who's asking?
Let's just keep names out of it for now.
That's the way I like it.
I'm looking for information on a certain person.
Who?
I don't know his actual name, but he's a red tiefling like myself, less personable. Goes by Cruel.
He may know something.
I'm looking for some information on him.
Oh, maybe information for information.
What would you like to know?
He leans in close so that just you and him can hear what you know about that grey tabaxi down there.
The pardon?
That grey tabaxi down there.
I rode in with him.
Is that all?
He was on the same ship as I. Yes.
What ship be that?
Just pulled into the dock not long ago.
Has it got a name?
It was one of the galleons. It was big blue sail, white and blue sails.
Make me a deception check.
Perception 6. That is a 25.
What the?
Isn't that the truth though? Didn't we come in on?
No, we came on the one that didn't have blue sails.
Oh.
We came in on the one that wasn't marked for
Avondale.
yeah.
Yeah, there's two ships, the frigate and one galleon, who are.
I don't think I caught the name of the other ones other than the
think so.
breath.
The King's Whip.
King's
one
Whip
of
is
them?
King's
the
Whip
frigate.
is the frigate.
It's
Yeah,
the
you
frigate
guys would
that
have
got
heard that,
destroyed.
but I don't think you guys have heard any of the other fleet names
We did
yet.
not.
White and blue sails, you say?
Yeah.
Good to know. I may have heard something about a tiefling similar to yourself. Maybe his name was Cruel, maybe he wasn't.
You don't say.
I happen to know something about him, though.
Okay. You have my attention. I gave you information.
Do you ever heard of the Black Moon cult?
I don't. Possibly, in passing.
Let me give him a quick perception. These rolls are terrible. Well, maybe this particular cruel tiefling. Maybe they were part of it. Maybe they weren't. So as I know. I know a few things.
Is there any members of that cult floating around this area?
Perhaps. Depends if you have any more information on the tabaxi or not.
I'm a poet.
Well, he knows card tricks.
What you mean?
He can. I see him with a deck of cards. Kind of a. He can make coin off his cards by reading futures.
Hey.
I don't believe in such
I was gonna
nonsense. Though accurate, but I don't.
Well, that's about all I need, I think. What else would you like to know?
Is there any of the
Here?
mutant on this island?
Oh, there might be a member or two, but I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure. Might be at least one.
Fair enough.
Can I ask where you've come from?
I don't have a from. I travel with it. I grew up in a caravan. Carnival, fairgrounds. Bearded lady was my mom.
They, ever do anything to you? Something
No,
weird?
I was human once.
You were human.
Yeah, fucked up.
That's interesting.
These horns, grafted on.
Roll me a deception with a disadvantage.
Disadvantage. So 14.
Oh, you could tell me whatever you like then. I don't need to know any too much more. But I'd keep an sharp eye. That fellow.
Good to know.
Turning
kinda-
tricks sometimes can turn some attention too.
You can tell. You can kind of tell that Barrett's.
You sure you can't tell me where that fleet's heading? Might be able to help you out with a bit more information on this cruel tiefling.
Well, I don't know where we're heading exactly, where the end destination is. I plan on going towards the Heart of Mora, but that's just myself.
Heart of Mora, you say? Long journey.
Yeah, need a vacation.
Most don't go to the Heart of Mora for vacation.
I'm not like most people.
Last I heard, that's where that individual that I'm talking about was heading as well. Happen to know a few things about certain things. You haven't happened to be part of any strange black rituals of any kind, would you?
I mean, other than playing my lute for coin, no, not really.
No weird scars?
I mean, I can't see the back of my neck, so no.
Seems clean.
I keep it washed.
Good idea. Well, educate you a little bit. Seems as though these Black Moon cults like to do certain rituals with certain devilish individuals. Not particularly sure their means. Suffice to say that sometimes they don't survive it. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they disappear entirely. Not exactly sure where, though. But I do happen to know that one cruel tiefling might have undergone this ritual and never come back.
I kind of let his words just kind of roll around in my head, and kind of just start taking a step back towards the stairs.
While you're thinking, make me a religion check.
Religion.
Does
Don't.
not marked in the back of his neck.
He has fairly prominent scar.
Right. I wrote it down last time.
6.
Finally, a bad roll.
Anything
for the
he's
lad.
telling you is just sheer gold as far as you know. Who knows? Yeah.
I head down and I sit next to Chicago.
Chicago!
And kind of
I'm just finishing up my ale. To leave.
where'd you go?
I was just about to leave, my friend.
Oos, you ready?
Roll. Roll.
Are you drinking a whole keg? Oh yeah, you're fucking hammered. No con save required.
You've been after eating all those fish?
Oh,
You're
wow.
fucking hammered. A whole keg?
Some
Whole keg?
We got it.
Yeah. Cling, the barrel like tips over a little bit from the fact
Yeah.
there's nothing left in it. You hear him kind of. Oh.
I catch urgency in Barrett's voice and pack up my things. Get ready to head towards the door.
So Lucio just kind of gives you a wave.
As I walk past those two, I just kind of lean in. It's a little dicier even for me, and I just keep walking.
You have room in your party for 2 more. As you hear from this behind like a kabuki.
It's that, exactly.
It's just
You see the dwarf you were just talking to kind of leaning up against the railing and watching you guys for a second, just kind of.
Sure, why not? And I head out.
Okay.
Yay!
This is our chance. Yes.
Okay.
So you guys all
Breath of
exit.
the mask is just coming out. It's just
So you guys exit the tavern.
Yeah. Is
All
there
five?
is there tobacco in this world?
I would
I feel like
say.
I've on a regular with a cigarette.
Okay.
Have that.
Do you have tobacco on?
I
you?
don't have any of the supplies, but could I?
You. Let's assume you have at least enough for some. Just for fun.
You smoke weed?
Yeah, just have a little bit of
Just a little
smoke.
herb. Something to pass the time while we walk
Kind
for
of.
4 hours.
It's a long walk.
Are you've got the
He's
penis
fine.
right?
He's loaded.
I do have the canister, yeah. I will be
No, exactly.
heading out for a little stroll down the beach. If anyone wishes to join.
Kushagra, call me.
Swaying with each step, like.
Carrying the barrel.
The empty barrel.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes, now you really are.
50-year-old is definitely here. Rolls it.
That girlfriend.
So,
You're Diddy Kong. That's what you makes you go. So,
who's I suppose? Is anyone not going with Kushagra?
I think
I think we're all finally
Yeah, I think we're
on
gonna.
a team now.
Yeah.
let's do it.
So-
Just do it. Just do it. Fuck it.
As you guys
You're gonna
walk
Do it.
along
I'd
the
like
beach.
I'd like to come up to Barrett and be like, as we're walking, we'll just fall into step together. Like, Mr. Aylstrom, you seem to have something you wish to tell me.
I'm ignorant to your kind, I admit.
Many are.
So it just caught me. The dwarf I was speaking to just had a lot of questions about you. I don't know why, so I just figured that we should leave.
Well, that was very astute of you. What did you tell him?
I told him that we came in on a different ship.
Excellent.
I told him, didn't tell him any names, and told him that you did contracts.
These are all true things. Give him a wink.
Yeah.
We will have to be a little bit more careful while we are on this island. Did not expect to be noticed this far from my home.
Yeah.
You are an asset to me.
Yeah, you probably could have left the at out.
You are also amusing and fun to have around.
He seems a little more frazzled than the last couple times, still kind of milling over. Like, for him, it's frustrating when people know things that even about him that he possibly doesn't know. So he's just kind of a little more quiet during the walk at the start. Before as everybody keeps walking.
Do I pick this up? Like, is this something I could recognize from?
Are you trying to hide it at all?
Not really, no.
It's easily noticeable.
You seem worried, my friend. I'm sure there was nothing else this dwarf told you to cause this concern.
I don't know who I am. I So it becomes frustrating when people know things that I should know, that I don't. I pride myself on knowing things, or bullshitting myself into knowing things. And it becomes frustrating when information is hung above my head that I probably should know.
Is there anything I should know about this?
If you see another red tiefling that's not as personable as me, maybe cut his throat.
I will keep this in mind.
Yeah. It kind of, the weight kind of lifts off of Barrett's shoulders a little bit. Okay, let's get going to where?
We are going to another mystic, Lady Red. She is an acquaintance of mine. I wish to pay her a visit before we head out.
Okay.
But
How
for
long?
now, we are safe. I wish for you to let your troubles slide off of your shoulders, like rain off of a rooftop. Enjoy the walk along the beach.
How long did you say this was?
How long has it been so far? Like half an hour?
Probably been
maybe?
about a half an hour.
Yeah, maybe another hour.
Ooh, that's a lie.
Both these lads.
So now
Not
the
true.
hour and a half, 2 hours back. We have to make sure that we're back before dawn. Yeah. That's fine.
This will be no problem.
So, as you guys are walking, does anyone else need to have any discussions or anything like that?
I'm gonna be.
I'm encumbered by this box. I will tell you that much.
You're just
How
like,
much-
how
I am dragging my feet at this point.
How
It
much
is
does it weigh?
2 pounds.
2 pounds.
So like half of your weight.
I'm going to I'm gonna sort of like take it from her and then just like have it hold up in my hands. I'm gonna be very, very close to it. I'll be casting Mage Hand the entire time, holding it up.
Okay.
So I'm not actually holding up.
It's kind of like being loftily
Being
held.
lofted up as I'm just sort of like pretending.
Putting hands on either side,
Yeah.
faux holding.
Faux holding.
Luce walks up to Lucian. Wooden barrel.
Alright.
Box barrel.
Ah!
You barrel. Slow. Barrel. Carry.
Oh, yeah, okay, so I'll like gingerly just get into the barrel. Like peering out very like
Oh, you fit. You're
yeah,
tiny.
oh yeah, just
Smelling like meat.
yeah.
Tools just like rattling around.
I turn my head as we're walking. I was just like, what is going on back there?
Look at Lucy.
Admirable fight.
So, listen.
This beast. It's too late. It's best to just leave it right now.
Pretty, you're gonna be drunk for a while. Like you drank a whole cake.
How much damage do you end up taking?
What? Damage? I think he took, what, 5 damage?
Oh, okay.
I feel
You must have like heavy armor class. Unless
He's a barbarian.
Naked.
Where's his
lizard.
lizard body?
15 AC, baby.
I must say, I was surprised you did not come through victorious, my friend.
Cost me money.
Yes, I sense there is a great strength within you that needs to be tapped. You seemed quite calm and docile.
These are things.
Perhaps when it comes time and your life is actually on the line, there will be more you can provide. I have faith.
I'm gonna have to.
Shall we sing a song now? Was it Barrett, was it? Sing us a song.
I don't believe I give you my name.
Well, I know you. I've heard tale of your exploits. So good.
They're famous.
The mask is a little much, don't you think?
Bad acting today.
Good one.
Insight check.
Yeah, deception.
Insight check.
Deception there, mister.
Okay.
Mask is strange, but every man is entitled to his own secrets.
Oh, it's a 12.
14.
Oh.
Weirdly enough, you're like,
Uh,
bad acting, that must suck.
That must suck.
Tim has this very like shit-eating grin. Just looking at this conversation happening.
From the barrel.
Totally. Yeah. Just fucking living it up.
You have several hours if you'd like to be trying to tinker up something as well.
Can I inside?
You got plenty.
You're fairly
Give me my
comfortable.
stuff.
Okay, but it's in there.
No, it's in there. It's in there.
It's like rattling around when you've got loose
Yeah.
scraps
I'm
like
definitely
cruising
gonna be
around.
trying to do stuff.
Are you not
There's
as
just many
comfortable
nuts
with the
and, like,
with the
you're
Yeah,
mask?
totally.
You're gonna be like
There's,
diving
like,
in and out.
yeah,
It's
It doesn't
yeah.
look pleasant.
Yeah.
Every now and then you're like tossed up hair just like pokes out to see where you're at and then
Yeah,
back
exactly.
down.
Yeah, totally.
Tim's
It
like,
sounds
looking
powerful.
into the By the way, don't sit there. I'm Lucian.
Yeah.
Timdale's the one in the barrel,
Yes.
and you are
Lucian Foliatus.
Okay.
Lucian
Folio.
Foliatus.
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 Yes, Foliatus.
Foliatus.
Oh, he's drunk.
Foliatus.
That's so good.
This goes on for minutes.
Yeah.
Like, no. Foliatus.
You start to notice that it becomes more like
Yeah, I said it too.
him mocking the name.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at him right now.
But really putting emphasis on the
Giant dinosaur.
Foliatus.
Dino.
Lucian works. Yeah, after like 10 minutes. it's-
Lucy.
Lucy.
There will be
Lucy Goose.
Spice. Lucy
Oh,
Goose.
a nickname?
Lucy Goose.
Lucy Goose.
Who's Lucy?
Yes, let's be.
You just hear from the barrel, Lucy!
What's that? Yeah, that's
Send
not.
this note.
Yeah. Right? Loose.
So, as the hours pass, as you guys walk along the beach, sand brushing along your toes, you see the forest and the mountains against the side that kind of build up. It's treacherous as you pass by tents and hovels every few miles or so. Eventually, you see an individual standing on the beach near to this kind of red-tinted tent, probably about maybe 100 meters from it, and just staring off into the ocean, kind of standing along the side of a few rocks. Ashton, would you like to describe your character?
So she's caped. You can tell she's tall and slender. Can't tell what race she is just yet, but you can see like a white silvery hair just kind of blowing out from underneath.
As the wind from the sea.
Yeah, wind from the sea. She kind of gives off like a slight unease, but lots of intrigue as well.
As you see a very interesting looking group of individuals striding towards
I
you.
turn around and you can see like a pale face, with these blue eyes just staring back, eyeing up whatever he is wearing.
It's like kabuki. Kabuki mask.
Just giant
I find
crocodile
it
kind
odd
of
that-
swaying.
Just with curiosity, I'm just like looking at this group of curiosity and
You walk with the menagerie of crazy that, and you're the one that's pointed out.
I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
well, no, I can see like
Change.
I'm looking at the entire group just with like curiosity and because I haven't seen a group like this on these shores.
Few have.
Good afternoon,
Hello.
fair lady.
Stop.
We are looking for the red lady. She close by.
No, the tent beyond is her tent.
The tent beyond. That's her tent.
This one over here.
Yes.
Well,
What brings you here?
I seek guidance. Wish a reading.
Where do you all hail from?
Various
Haven't-
places.
I haven't seen a various group among these shores in quite some time.
We're just
Just see
traveling.
fingertips. You just see fingertips in a barrel
Yeah.
on
It's like-
on the crocodile's shoulder.
Yeah.
Maybe like the top of some green hair.
Yeah. She's listening.
Huh. Well, her tent is over there.
Curiously, that's exactly why you're here as well.
That's why I'm here as well.
Have you had your reading already? Have you met her?
I haven't. I had just arrived here.
I will let you have your meeting. And I will continue. And I have waited this long to meet her. I can wait a little bit more.
Thank you. What chivalry is not dead.
Yes, may I get your name?
My name is Divina.
Divina, pleasure. I am Kushagra.
Nice to meet you. My cheeks blush. Like, okay.
Good luck on your reading. I hope you find it whatever it is you are looking for.
You as well.
I'm gonna sit down on the beach. Wait. Where you said we're like 100 meters away?
Or so,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good distance. I'll wait here.
I'm still eyeing them and look back with curiosity as I'm like heading towards the tent.
Or myself.
Rest of you waiting.
Yes. Frozen, I guess.
Can
I'll
can
poke
I,
it.
can I check to see if I was able to complete something for Ding Dong here?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'll let you make 3 checks for sure, and in case you don't make it, because you've had a lot of many hours.
Fully honest.
Actually, 4 checks, 1 per hour, let's say.
I make this possible.
Yeah.
Who's your friend who likes to play ding dong ding dong?
That one looked low.
Straps and leather straps on that bill, and that's just what I'm saying.
Do you want?
Yeah, do you mind?
Yes.
Power!
19.
How would you like this to look?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how it looks. Well, I want it to be full face, basically.
Full faced.
With
There's like metals
Nice
and leathers and wood that you can work with.
yeah, well, yeah, sure. As much as honestly, it really doesn't matter because it's not going to look the way it looks right now. It just needs to be as solid as possible for it to stay on his face.
Picturing like Doom, Doctor Doom kind of mask.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like-
Big metal grate.
Yeah,
big
well,
square sort of-
It's right. It needs to have the eyes,
Yeah.
but and a mouth, obviously.
There's like two. You basically kind of use the similar frame shape, but you use leather straps where the eyes go. So there's this kind of like spot right here where just the eyes show, and then it pinches down, and there's kind of like two blades that come down across the face.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
And then something that covers over most of the mouth,
Yeah.
and then wrapping up on the chin is like a little chin strap that you kind of strap up that
Yeah.
ties around the back.
So and then the hood would cover anything that would be strapping it to your face.
Exactly.
Basically.
Perfect.
So I'll kind of poke my head out. See you. I'll poke my head around and look for you and beckon you towards my new home.
We leave home inside the barrel.
I live here now.
This is my life.
Yeah, so
Smells of stale beer.
Like pull your face in as much as I can.
Yeah.
Obscure part of this.
I'll see his head go into the barrel.
Yeah.
Oh, my barrel's on the ground now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm still in it though. Not
Yeah.
Just kicked a little bit in the sand, like
Yeah.
on a tight tilt.
So I'll pull your face in and take your kabuki mask off, and I'll put this new one on. And as I flick the forehead of it, it kind of changes straight into your face.
Oh, that's so fucking sweet.
Perfect. My.
So your eyes and your mouth would still be the same
Yeah.
because there's holes there, right? But the rest of it is the skin tone that you would normally when you cast a sky self. It looks exactly this.
Wonderful. So my eyes are still black and blue, but
Well, I guess if you'd wanted to,
I suppose
knowing
that's
that
true,
there's
yeah.
like a shutter or something like that, you would know. So if you wanted
Yeah,
that to be
and I
covered
can-
for that, yeah.
How do you want to make that work then?
that's okay.
There's like a
The
little
most
flap
conversation-
that if you need to put down
Yeah,
to
a
like
little
draw
visor
more
kind of thing.
shade so that
Yeah.
your eyes don't show as much.
Could be
That's
a little
fine.
bit of a visor.
Yeah, I can have it look like as though your
Like
eyes,
hair.
when they normally are.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Okay.
That they're just not
Like you won't be
covered.
able to see when it's down,
Right.
but to show appearances, it would look
Wait,
normal.
I can. Oh God, am I your guide?
No, you don't have to be my guide.
Oh, you can
Are you
flick
gonna
it
guide
up.
him from the barrel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. This is my home now.
Yeah. I'll just
Um,
have the visor thing, a little visor thing.
Okay, and they look like your eyes.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fine. Great. So yeah.
I can fall asleep in church.
Oh, it'll be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's a sleeping
It's a
mask,
sleepy mask.
But yeah, I'll kind of like hit your head,
and it just
and it just changes.
Has it worked, Tyndale?
You're welcome.
Thank you. I forgot it's thinking. Thank God.
this little kind of magical shimmer just.
Cool.
I'll upload, and then I'll rip off that old kabuki coat that I had on too that went with it. And
Can I use
just eat it.
a different? So I had a 16 as well.
Mhm.
Can I use that on a different
Yeah, absolutely.
thing? I'd like to make. I'd like to use the tinker ability and make like a clockwork toy in the shape of
Okay.
a bird.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it's gonna stay with me though.
Okay. Amazing.
So,
Can I decide?
Sure.
Okay. So like as I'm sauntering off to the tent, as you guys said earlier, the lady in red was making her way to the Heart of Mora.
No, she's just on this island.
Oh, okay. Like on the.
That's where we're going
We're
to.
going to. After.
Okay, yeah, but she's not. Like I'm looking for her in this tent, right?
You you perhaps have been on the island for a day maybe or so, but you have come to her for a reading.
Yeah.
Specifically.
So is she there when I go into the tent?
as you go in.
Okay.
So
Dun, 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 dun.
So as you open up the flap of the tent, there's this red glow coming from within. Kind of emanates out. You see a nest of pillows and blankets. The tent is terribly small. It's probably about 10 by 10 feet, kind of built into the forest a little bit, but the edge of the beach, essentially. Outside of that, you see lines of dead fish hanging and drying, and a fishing pole and a little bucket nearby, and the kind of blood-stained stump against the edge of the forest where there's lots of fish guts and things like that. A few birds kind of pecking away, fly away as you go over. But as you look in, you see this little nest of pillows and blankets that make up most of this whole far corner beyond, where this small round table sits with this crystal ball held aloft by a cradle of bronze. Several small vials of red light hang from strings around the tent, kind of like Christmas lights, around the edge of the ceiling. There is a fire pit in the center, or pardon me, in the other far corner, where this kind of small little pot steams and gently boils with a small fire underneath that is very small and controlled. At the very back wall of the tent is a wooden chest with an iron lock on it, which is kind of doubling as a table as well. You see kind of plates and utensils, a little teapot, and kind of a copper cup sitting atop it as well. And you see a female woman, sort of mid to late 40s, cloaked in layers of deep red garments which kind of hang loosely around her. A dark red cowl covers the top of her head, where a beaded headdress of gold and silver sparkle from beneath. Dark black hair with streaks of red hang from beneath the cowl and kind of dangle across her face, and you see the sharp features of her face and these very red colored lips, very clearly painted that color. It's hard to see, but she is missing an eye and has a patch over one side.
It's your soulmate.
She does not look up and instead addresses you by name as you enter. David.
How do you know my name?
I know many things. I do believe we are missing a few more. Would you like to invite the rest inside? They are on the beach.
The ones I just ran into.
Yes.
I mean, okay. It's like nonchalantly pop my head out, and I'm like, looks like we're sharing a quest.
Do what we're in what?
I'll take my head out of the barrel. What? Yeah.
She wants to speak with all of us.
I don't. Can all of us fit in there?
Yeah, Booze. Whisk is very large, but he'll fit.
You can try.
You're getting doe eyes from outside. Like,
I'd say the drunkenness is somewhat worn off at this point. You're like,
I know that's what
you're mostly over the drunkenness. You're still a bit tipsy, but not
The
really.
red lady has spoken, and I shall not go against her wishes. Please come.
I mean, this is why you're here.
Yeah,
So
I'm already getting ready to go
Yeah.
inside.
Okay.
Tentatively forward.
And we like pretend to help lift the barrel, and it was just like.
I'd like to try and filter.
you got it? Oh,
okay.
Keep myself hooded. I know she knows I'm here. I'm just being unassuming and staying in the back in the shadows.
Okay.
I'm not really ready to be at the front
Very good.
for this one.
So as you guys are going inside,
Yeah.
I'm in a barrel.
you're in the barrel.
Luce is carrying the barrel.
That was just scared.
Bear want to take the lead on that one?
of going inside.
Yeah. The tent flap.
Just billow, both flaps billow in as you kind of.
Hello.
Get to the grand entrance.
I expected no less.
Montgomery. I'm right there. I'll be here all week,
You
guys.
wins.
Please have a seat, all of you, or stand if you're more comfortable.
I kind of pop down on some cushions.
Ah, Kushagra,
Stay standing.
you have aged so well.
It is so
Well,
well. I was like, I thought it said that you've aged so barely.
well.
Yeah. You look as same.
Though one minor difference as she kicks up her head, and she had 2 eyes the last time you knew her, and she only has 1 now. Covers it. But some sacrifices must be made. I'm glad you've finally arrived. I've been waiting.
Are we to be having a group reading today?
So it would seem.
Very interesting.
Quite. See, you've lost some of your touch, that you have not
I didn't think they
foreseen
knew each
this.
I have been doing the readings with Tommy.
Bunch of pop.
I've been seeing
Yes, me.
certain signs cropping up. Not sure exactly what is yet to come. But something tumultuous is on the winds of Mora.
You feel it.
I feel it every time I touch the deck.
It has been many years in the making. But it seems the time has finally come with the resurgence of 1, perhaps 2. She looks to you and to Lucian as well. Please, you are amongst friends, Lucian Foliatus.
Lucy.
You know who I am.
I know much. I knew Gaius as well when he came.
We knew guys. First came here.
He waits for you
Where?
in the heart.
Yes.
You will find him. It has been a curious time as I've waited. But I must go around and go through my courses. And Kushagra, you're familiar with her methods to some degree. She asks some specific questions and some aloof questions. But I will start with our largest. So,
You.
Largest at heart.
Is the barrel ground, or are you still holding it?
You're on the ground.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Walk.
Yeah, exactly.
You're standing on the box. Tools.
Yeah, exactly.
the lost. You will find your way. That I am sure.
Puts her head back in the barrel thing.
Someone has to keep a sharp eye for precious commodities. So, who do you call yourself?
Usk Soryev.
And Usk, Soriv, what is your most favorite color?
Green.
Of course.
What does it matter?
Matters. And what do you care for most? I believe perhaps we see eye to eye on that matter. She kind of looks around the room and she... And Barrett, you call yourself, yes?
I didn't give you my name.
No?
My name's How We Do It.
This is what you call yourself. Roll me a quick perception, everyone.
Kurt. 18. 11.
11.
Is it 18?
11.
Okay. 18, Timdo?
18.
18.
17.
This is not level.
318.
Everyone except for you two see her kind of reach back towards her nervously almost for a moment and kind of like pat something and then so What is your favorite color?
Gold and purple.
Of course, too. And, what do you care for most?
Music. Poetry. The arts.
See, her one eye kind of tear up a little bit before she kind of... Mister, who do you call yourself?
I'm Lucian Foliatus.
And what is your favorite color?
Blushes a little bit. Just green. Like the fields.
And what do you care for most, Lucian Foliatus?
Seek to know who I am. The answers. My father. So,
You may find it. Oh, Kushagra, I know you well. And you know my methods. So please, what is your favorite color?
Blue. No, wait, yellow. I value the color of light red, often set pink. Above all.
Some things never change. But
Looks
one
good on
thing,
gray.
what do you care for most these days?
That has become less and less clear as the days go on. I'm in the process of searching for that which is most
The love of the search, perhaps, then.
we will soon find out, I believe.
Davina, who do you call yourself?
What do I call myself? Davina?
And what is your favorite color?
I'd have to say silver. That of the moon.
Indeed. Maybe it will guide you.
Okay.
What do you value most?
My identity.
Indeed.
Finding out who I am, who I was.
Memories. Fleeting.
I'm going to have that.
They will come. In time. And you. Don't be shy. What do you call yourself?
Tim Del Garrick.
And Tyndale, what is your favorite color?
Yellow.
And what do you value most?
My babies.
And a new one you have? There will be more. She takes a long exhale, puts her hands over the ball where you see it begin to kind of glow. Begin to swell with energy and light. Begins to change colors. Colors of green, light red, yellow, green, silver. Different green.
A stronger green.
Green.
Scaly or green.
Gets excited.
Yellowy.
Before she. I see. You. Each of you. Stand confidently. With a great look of satisfaction upon your face. This is a happy time. You are excited about what you hold in your hand. A heart. A beating heart. A heart of fire and destruction. It beats. And it beats in your hand as you hold it over a vast opening atop a great mountain. You inhale the fire and the brimstone. You feel the beating in your hand. Your heart beats in sync with it. You look over this vastness, over Mora. You see the world. Everything you've seen and ever known. The vast oceans, the great mountains, the shallow valleys, and the people and creatures and plants that live amongst it. You see all of this, and you look down at this beating heart. You look at each other. You see your fellows. They hold nothing, but in your own hand, you see this heart. Before you plunge, you throw yourself into the fire. She kind of... I'm sorry. It's hard to see beyond so much. That is all. All of this would hope to bring clarity. But only more questions. You must not let him obtain this, Kushagra.
I can't obtain this.
Orca cannot.
Orca. I knew it.
The elves cannot get the heart.
Yes.
Neither can your brother.
Excuse me?
He will try.
Obviously, your cold readings and your mystic arts is a little off. Don't have a brother.
There's another. He looks as you. He's a demon bound to a shadow. He cannot be trusted and walks his own. Usk, you must find your eye and the man who holds it. He will use it. You cannot trust him. Know that his intentions are his own, and that is all. Though he has great power, you will need to become strong to face him. To overcome. Most important, you must find the gem. It is everything. You must protect at all cost.
What gem?
The map. It will lead you.
Where do we
You will
find
need
this
your
map?
blood.
What?
Or hers. Or it will be forever hidden.
Bruce.
Yes. You are not so unlike one another.
Hmm.
Please. We are all friends.
Pardon?
She's asking you to reveal your disguise. I'm gonna take your hood off.
Yeah.
So
Wow, what do you look like?
It's a curse.
It's a curse. Beauty is a curse.
Yes.
I know.
Got
Yes.
very, very pale alabaster skin. My cheeks are painted rosy. They're not natural, but that with like a very light blue eyes. My hair is white silver, tall and lean, like high bone structure, and
Very gaunt.
I never thought I would see the day.
20 years.
pointy ears.
It is true
I feel it is
that the ancient elves are not all gone. There is a chance.
Seeing you, but it's just time for me to show my figure. Whoa, my face is what I tried to say. As I'll take off the mask, you see purple, pale purplish bluish skin, and my irises are black. No, wait, no. Pales of my white eyes are black, and irises are bright, vibrant blue. Purple hair, purple dreadlocks with strands of pink and mauve in there as well. That is what I've been trying to hide.
The dark side of the moon and the light side of the moon.
That's right.
All making babies.
I'll make them babies.
I cannot say which one will take the plunge, but it will take all of you to get there. There are great powers that stand in your way, but this task is yours. And the gods bless you on your journeys.
Many thanks, lady.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have something I need to be sure of. Yes.
Can I see if she's kind of wincing at something?
Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, I was gonna look to try and look at that
Yeah.
spot.
You guys can all roll me insight check, or if you'd like to see the
specifically
spot,
looking
roll me
at
a
the spot that
perception
she-
check.
It actually reached at me too.
Yeah.
Because I saw it.
I got an 18 on insight.
Rolling inside.
Yeah. For the insight.
15.
Insight.
15.
Okay.
18.
Ah,
Goes to resistance.
well,
Why do I even
23.
have this
Oh.
dice?
For me.
I've rolled everything under 10 for the most part, except for that fight against Usk,
Yeah.
in which I was rolling really high.
Did you rage during that fight?
No.
I should have done.
You should have
Yeah.
taken
But it was Cool Hand Luke, you know, he was
Yeah.
23 for me.
23.
Dirty
For
20
perception.
Dirty
Perception.
12.
For perception. or
Yeah.
insight are you?
For perception.
And sorry, it was
Uh,
for insight. Okay, so insight on this side, perception on this side. Okay, so all of you
Actually, sorry.
guys,
14.
14.
I forgot that I'm proficient.
Okay, no problem. So you rolled an insight first. So she seems unnerved, and especially Kushagra would see her because you know her quite well. You have very seldom seen her rattled, except for perhaps a couple of post conversations with Vorka, maybe that didn't go her way, where she came away a little bit flustered or confused, and she seems to be avoiding specifically eye contact with Barrett. And every time she seems to glance over at him, you see her eyes kind of swell up, or her eyes swell up a little bit before she turns away. You guys see behind, kind of where she's sitting, right behind her, next to the little chest/coffee table, a bundle of what look like blankets. As she presses her fingers, you see them smush down, and kind of this like tentative realization that something should be there that isn't. And that's when she's like, I have something that I need to make sure of.
Was it there the first time she went for it?
No one would have noticed that. But she
I guess
more like
for-
she took like an instinctive reach back, but
Right.
this time she actually pressed down,
Okay.
and pressed, and there was nothing. I must be alone.
Very well. We will leave you to further contemplate. Please, everyone, let's give her some
Oh,
space.
Kushagra, it was very good to see
I
you
will be
again.
back to see you.
Typical mystic.
I wish you all the best. I'm gonna
You.
I
just
get, I
take
get, I get magic.
some
But
gold.
mysticism?
I just keep like staring at you like.
I'm gonna take like 5 gold, press it into her hand, and say, for the reading, and to help you get by.
Thank you.
Kush.
You've grown into a fine man, Kushagra.
Cushy and
We will,
easy.
I will be back once this journey
Shaggy.
is ended. Perhaps
Yes.
before I do.
Yeah.
Should be wary of another tabaxi. I have my suspicions. She has taken something that is not hers from me. Something very important. If you could recover this and bring it to me without... Do not look upon this object when you find it. That is very important. Just bring it back to me, and that is all.
Discretion is something that I try to maintain at all times. I will do this for Lady Red.
Much appreciated.
And I quickly leave the tent.
It's not my time.
She kind of continues to... She begins to look relatively frantically as you guys are leaving. Like,
Breath tingle the barrel posy on. We talking to that for sure.
Hey girl!
Hey girl,
How you doing?
Daniel.
so,
Not quite like that.
exiting.
I leave the tent.
Back of your head is
As you guys
ridiculous.
exit the
Your
tent,
face.
the night has overtaken. It seems as many hours have passed, and it is a starry sky.
It was just afternoon when we entered the tent. This is very strange.
How many hours until morning?
Can we tell? from
Maybe a
where the moon
survival
is?
check?
Yeah.
Everyone
Come on,
can.
nature boy. Oh, not 20.
That's 4.
Oh, not nature boy.
14.
14.
18.
16.
It is probably around 11 p.m. or so.
It takes 4
It
hours
is
to get back.
almost middle of the night.
We must move quick.
3 a.m. before we get back here.
Assuming the sun's up in probably 5 hours or so. I think a good hustle should be good.
A trench.
I don't know how this roll would be.
Yeah, I have no idea where Lucille went. Or who's staying. I didn't talk to her enough. Maybe.
Go back to the tavern.
Let me go back to the tavern and ask where she went to. Yeah. I'm gonna.
We have to get back to the ship before sunrise, though. So
I am aware of the time constraint on this, but I have to try.
but the
We
tavern
will
probably
have time.
won't be open by the time we get there.
I have a way around locked doors.
Who are you going to ask where she went if the tavern's closed? I can break in easily with a
I'm
boot.
sure that our grizzled friend Jack will be living at the tavern. But I can be quite convincing in the middle of the night with a claw at his throat.
Should have bought bigger claws.
Usk, you are more than welcome to join me.
Is Usk still drunk at this point?
Oh no.
Getting
Oh,
started.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to immediately start
I'm
double
getting back from
timing
the view.
down
and
the
then
beach, trying
Tim's
to
like,
make it back to the tavern with as much time as possible.
The rest of you guys, are you following suit as well?
Yes.
Yes. So
Trudging
I'm in a
along.
fucking barrel, so.
And Davina, are you saddling up with this group of
Yep.
misfits?
Plenty to
Heading
talk
back
about.
to the tavern because I'm curious about Lucian.
Two sides of the same moon. That's pretty.
That's pretty good.
I put the bird I made earlier on Uska's shoulder, and it's similar to the birds that you would find in the
On a
great,
crocodile.
in the Great Desert. Yeah, exactly on a crocodile.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was just thinking that you were like the bird from the crocodile. And I
Yeah, so
actually
now
made
it's
the
actual bird.
actual
on
bird.
your shoulder. And it tweets like a bird.
As Grog would not.
I'm gonna go back into my barrel and make some stuff with it.
Just duck back down.
Sparks flying out the window. I
I'm
love
gonna
this.
make more
I love this
birds.
picture.
Slowly just put them on Uska as we travel. More
like
birds.
How long have we been traveling? 1, 2.
How many birds there are?
So, as you guys hurriedly, somewhat, make your way back down the beach, everyone roll me a perception check.
So he moves.
Perception's not something I'm good at. I don't like it.
Oh, God.
And weirdly enough,
Oh,
it's
God.
not one of your
9,
party's
10,
strengths until
19.
now. 19.
13.
It's very perceptive.
10.
23.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay.
That guy's
Oh, we'll not use this dice for a little bit.
Yeah, let it rest for a bit.
So as you were traveling down the beach, after about an hour, 2 hours, hurrying your way, you hear some splashing in the water that sounds a little bit larger and kind of stops you for a second. You hear this kind of and some rustling behind the rocks in the forest. You hear kind of like
I love this voice so much.
and kind of teeth chattering.
Just
A few more splashes. Looking out, you see nothing, but you see rocks kind of, in the low tide, and the trees kind of rustling. You guys keep going.
If it's not bothering me, I don't care. Live and let die.
Be wary of the creatures in the rocks. We should have to keep going.
They follow.
What is our marching order?
I hate that question. What is it? Our marching
Probably-
order.
I don't mind taking point,
I was gonna say you might be taking point.
just because I have feline agility. I don't know if anybody else is fast, but
Be a bit fast.
Fine, now.
well, technically feline
I
agility.
mean, yours is probably the same as
You can do
Yeah.
leaps,
Yeah.
Who wants to be behind Kushagra?
I'll take separate.
Okay, Rusk.
With
Which
That
means
means that I'm
Tim and
second as
Tel.
well.
Yeah.
Rusk, Tim Dells, yeah, you guys are packaged.
Are we
Okay,
talking in the back of the bus here?
I don't want to be in the very back.
okay.
I guess I'll
I
take
don't
it.
have many defensive spells.
You're at the
so-
back.
I guess I'll be in the back.
Okay.
Just
And Lucian and Davina
I mean the shield.
in the middle.
the shield that
Take all
protects
of
the men.
All of the damage from the vanguard. Yeah.
Vanguard,
Okay.
yeah.
So as you guys
Around the men.
continue on, and you hear the splashing in the shallows and the rustling in the trees, you kind of pick up the pace.
Quickly.
When suddenly, Barrett, you hear this kind of leap out of the water. 3 like weird standing fish human-like creatures, one of them wielding a net, and throws it towards you. Does a 16 hit.
Yeah.
And you are now trapped in a net.
To the tavern, we just know.
Bye. Goldilocks.
The rest of you guys hear all this happen,
Holy crap!
and that is when we will end our
Yeah.
session
Oh,
for
no!
the night.
No!
Because it's 10:30,
Yeah, we went over time already.
and we won't have enough time for combat. No.
No.
No!
But then we will.
Woo!
Yes. You so far you see.
I am in a mesh case of emotion.
Mini-World Masters Heart of Mora is recorded in Chibuktuk, in Mi'kmahi, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is covered by the Treaties of Peace and Friendship, which recognizes Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik title and establishes rules for what is to be an ongoing relationship between nations. We are all treaty people, and proudly support working and cooperating together to create a peaceful community where we can all live our best adventure.